much propaganda coming from PF. Guys. Now muchilamo. You are writing so many, false things. You are even sitting in your groups. Even sitting into your groups, discussing. If you have the problem is I understand, because anyway, even kuriba UPN na kwena sometimes ngaba imina ka propaganda, ngaba bala panga ka propaganda, they will make a propaganda and then they will just believe in it and they will be busy discussing it. Same kuriba PF, bapo wapanga propaganda and they will be busy okula iwepa. Ero walikwata na ulia analyst wabo ulia uwa wakwati ninganga ulia uyo mwaiche ulia mkashana ulia wakwati ninganga ngai kalamu kuvuka ala vuke ya kuvuka avuka mwaika tate mwete na mushufu nderanda mkashana tekanya guys mula very bad mula Elonga wa asukako by manama emotions. Instead of responding to the issues that you have raised, they'll just be there insulting. Sajo inakona wapatiri wa mfiaro katushinga finish ba mkuchita kufiaro fiaboko wapatiri wa father na bona bo balife chimbi balife bumbi fie guys, I mean, mwilaive pefi. Mulapanga, you create stories. Mwaya panga. And you be busy there discussing. Why me? Never mwipaya. Why me? Never mwipaya. Never mwika muli asidi. Shana. Imwe. Teka nyeni. Uyo ine why mulera napo. Why me? Never mwipaya. Why me? Whatever. Wale msunga ni nani? Aleka la kuisa why me? Because by the time you are coming to a certain conclusion, mufuire mwapanga, mwakwata kontonka, ili ashofo li konkere. You follow events. These are the events chronologically. And those events must be real. Not imaginary. Shanshani. Babika nama CCTV camera. These are police officers. These are police officers from Zambia. TV. You can't even identify anyone. You can't even identify the place. These are the CCTV sender. After when they tortured him, why me died? Because they were torturing him. Afterwards, acid. Na papata. Kala kuisa why me. Twebe ni fishinka. Tell us, where was why me staying? And who was he staying with? So that we know, we at least give us some facts. Not weka motora na parliament. I mean, some of you by MP, you are wasting too much of, because in parliament you are paid spared money, and you go and waste your time and our resources asking stupid questions, asking nonsensical questions. If you could tola, Madam Speaker, it has been reported on social media that why me, whatever is dead. Come on. An MP? You won't come back to parliament. A lot of you are not going to come back to parliament. A lot of your political lives are ending next year. They are ending. Yeah? Oh, why me? Why me? First of all, you need to tell us, why me? Yeah? Who has complained? Who has complained to cover to Tariko? Because how can you convince us to say this why me was abducted and has been killed, when in the first instance you can't tell us where he will stay missing? Where is he missing? Where is he missing? Where is he missing? And there are people who know where I stay, such that if I disappear, I am not here. There will be people that will be able to tell you to say, Tayari alei kalapa. Yes, from Katushi Sunday, from whatever date. He has not been here. He is not here. There is here, I've got where I stay, here where I stay. And if I disappear, there will be people that will come and say, we have not seen Tayari. There will be people, please, before you start accusing Wakapokola, to say Wakapokola, they have killed that kind of insulting boy. Tell us, Ale Karakuisa, where was he staying? And what has happened there? He's saying they haven't seen him. I'm giving you an example because it is assumed that Waimi was staying out of Zambia. So if he was staying out of Zambia, my question is, ngalekala ukine ku Zimbabwe, alekala na banani? Alekala na banani? Ni pesa alekala. Who is complaining to say, why me is not here? Who is complaining? Give us those details first. And if somebody is complaining to say, no, he's not here, can somebody tell us a story? How did he leave home? In here, if I leave, I mean, there are people that will tell you to say, no, he left. He left and they might not know where I've gone, but they will tell you to say, he left on such a time. He left on such a time. And since then, he hasn't come back. What about why me? On which day did he leave that wherever he was staying? Who is complaining? That is my first thing. And I'm being logical here. I am being logical. I am trying to help you think. You cannot just be jumping around and start making wild accusations from nowhere. Number one, Ale Kalakwisa, why me? Number two, who has complained to say, why me is not here? Who has complained? When did he leave? Where was he going? Before you start giving us pictures, IRCCTV, these are police officers that abducted why me. I mean, let's hear real people, not fake pictures when they post. You're posting fake pictures and people are believing. No, there was this girl, and then they went to meet and whatever. Who is telling? Who is telling that story? That story of that girl. Who is telling that story? Who is telling that story? Who is telling me? Left and he said he's going to meet such a girl, and he was going to meet this girl upper so. And since then he has not come back. Who is telling that story? No, Koshwa has reported. Kalemba, not Kalemba. Achani, there's another whatever they are calling. Anyway, UPND, whatever. And you know, Koshwa is run by Hamasaka reports. It is true. Imwe. Koshwa alalembe fintu fingi. Koshwa alalembe fintu fingi. And whatever he writes, I mean, it's up to you to believe it or not. As for me, I don't even bother. I am not bothered. How many False things has also written on many people. Why don't you believe? How many things written on Edgar Lungu? How many things has also written on a number of people? And Watchdog, by the way. And Watchdog. How many things do they write? Why don't you believe some of the things that they write? When they write about corruption, that such and such is a corrupt person, such and such is a corrupt person. Why don't you believe that? Why don't you believe? Who believes Koswe? Who believes Koswe, for goodness sake? Who believes Koswe? But because it fits into your narrative, you want to believe it. You want to quote Koswe. You want to go to parliament and quote Koswe. When Koswe writes about you to say, you killed Ruth Mbandu, you say, no, Koswe is lying. Yeah? When Koswe writes about you to say, so and so killed Ruth Mbandu, you say, no, Koswe is, you can't believe Koswe. You can't believe Koswe. But when they write about this useless boy, you jump around. No, Koswe has written. So should we also believe that you killed this young lady? Should we believe? Because really, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Some of these pages, I mean, you accept whatever they write at your own risk. You accept whatever they write at your own risk. And you keep saying, hey, this page is run by Hamasaka. I mean, you must know that, I mean, there are a number of pages which were started by different people, and they have moved on. For example, this Watchdog, do you know who started Watchdog? Because you keep talking about, I don't know, Hamasaka runs Koswe. Hamasaka runs Koswe. Do you know who started the Watchdog? Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that I strongly doubt. I'm not saying, it is not true. But what I want to tell you, the stories on Koswe, I really doubt that those stories are written by Hamasaka. I really doubt that those stories are written by Hamasaka. At the same time, I really doubt that Hamasaka in State House is still writing on those blogs. I really doubt, unless this guy is so useless, unless this guy is so petty, that he would be sitting in State House and still continue typing to my stories on Koswe. I really doubt. He may have started it. Yes. He may have started it, but I think he may have moved on. I'm sure that page is just being run by some Tuma operatives like many of you, in opposition. I am very sure. Yes, he may give them to my stories here and there, but, to come and make it to say, no, to speak with absolute certainty. No, that page is run by Hamasaka. He's the one that writes. Well, if you want to believe that, that's for you. But for me, as much as I may not like Hamasaka is not my friend. He's not my friend. Hamasaka is not my nothing. I've got nothing to do with Hamasaka. But really, a guy sitting in State House writing those stories on Koswe, I mean, just think of it, how frequent they come. Koswe updates, they update very often. Where would somebody get the time, honestly? Where would somebody get the time? You are sitting in State House and you are busy updating the page like that. I mean, now, as much as you may not like the guy, but sometimes come back of a reasonable. Because even myself, if I were to get a job, here kwa Hamasaka, working in State House, you can't can't expect me to be updating my page the way I do. You can't. You can't expect me. Yes, my page will still remain because, of course, coming, of course. That is coming. That is coming. Very soon I'll be working in government. Very soon. I'm not saying I'll be working in government. Working in government. Government does not belong to Aka in the Ichirima. Government belongs to the people of Zambia. And leaders come and go. Leaders come and go. So don't take it to say, no, he's joining. I doubt Aka in the Ichirima would give me a job. I know better. I know better. I know better, Muntuandi. Aka in the Ichirima kumpera job win. I know better. I know better. But anyway, the point is that even myself, the way I'm running this page, if I were to have a job in government, I don't think I would be able to do as much as I do. Then there is another argument. For example, the people that started Watchdog, they have moved on. They have moved on. I don't want to mention their names because one of them is my brother. So bias. I'm not gonna talk about who opened the causeway because one of them is my brother. So Nalal inshallah and the bias stuff. But they have moved on because anyway, even Hamasaka was part of Watchdog. He was part of Watchdog, but now, he's not. But causeway, you keep saying, hey, no, that's why. Hey, why they arrest these people, but they don't arrest causeway. So many people are running pages and they have not been arrested. How many? There are so many pages that are running things against the government, that are writing falsehood, but they are still there. They are still there. There are a number of pages that are actually there. They are there, and they have not been, those pages, they have not been arrested, because some of them, they are not even within Zambia. They are not within Zambia. PF struggled with Watchdog. They tried to arrest Hamasaka. Did they manage? No, they didn't. They didn't. So imwe by PF, because the argument that you are using is that no, this page is run by Hamasaka. That's why Zikta has not arrested them. So never come pusher. Imwe by PF, when you are in power, Watchdog was very stubborn, was very mischievous, and it was being run by different people, and one of them is Hamasaka, by the way. When you were in power, how come you failed to arrest Hamasaka? Why did you fail? Why did you fail to close Watchdog? You failed to close Watchdog in. So was Watchdog then being run by people in government? Was Watchdog being run by Amosi? You failed. You failed to close Watchdog. How come this time around you say no, Koswa is not closed because it is run by the people in State House? Basically, my point is that, some of these pages, it is just difficult to close them down. It is difficult. Even myself, if I want to be cantankerous, even my page, they managed to close it when I was in Zambia. I think by that time, Mark Zuckerberg. But it is not sometimes to have the pages brought down. It's not easy. So that argument doesn't work. So you can't say because it was reported by Koswe. And Koswe is very reliable. It is reliable because it is run by Hamasaka. Hamasaka is in State House. And in State House, this is why even Zikta does not close it. It doesn't hold water from my point of view. That kind of argument doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove anything. Whatever they wrote it. They wrote it. Whatever they wrote. No, even Kalemba reported it. Kalemba consistently kept on saying our source, our source, our source, our source. Meaning they were not sure. They were quoting a source who had told them. But Kalemba, they never said, police have told us. No, they kept on saying our source, our source, our source. And yes, Kalemba is credible. Kalemba is very credible. The Kalemba are well known, are people that we know. And they reported according to their source. According to their source. They didn't say Bakapokoleva Landa, no. So at which point did you believe that the police are the ones holding Waimi? At which point? At which point are you holding the police responsible of Waimi? At which point? Where is the police coming in? Where is the police coming in? Because some social media pages reported like that, then it becomes real. Let's not have selective belief on issues. Some of these pages, we know that these pages, I mean, really, they are not credible. Accepting things from them, it is at your own risk. And even when a credible media house writes, when they say our source, it means they are telling you to say, treat this message carefully. We have not verified it. It is just a source that has told us. But you take it as a gospel truth. A source has told us. But it's up to you to take it or leave it. But when because it fits in your agenda, you go, hey, the police, they have killed him. They have killed him. At which point police coming in? At which point can you confidently say, can you coming from? Apart from the stories that you are from some of these media houses which are not credible. Media pages, actually Facebook pages or social media pages. At which point are you bringing in the police? Give us some evidence. And this is what I was asking in one of these groups. I was even asking that priest. I was even asking the evidence. And he tells me, hey, what about you? Do you have evidence that Makebi Zulu wants to become president? I mean, what illogical thinking from a priest. Illogical thinking from a priest. I'm telling you, you are saying that why me Nafwa? Can you give me evidence? And you come with a question to say, what about you? Do you have evidence that Makebi Zulu is Makebi Zulu wants to become president? Does that make sense? I am asking, give me evidence to show that your why me is dead. Give me evidence. And an entire priest comes up and say, no, what about you? Do you have evidence that Makebi Zulu wants to become president? Does that make sense? Is that how you can prove an argument? Is that the philosophy that you learned? Is that the logic that you learned in the seminary? And come on, this nonsense of, yes, I'm a Catholic. But, I mean, it doesn't make that, even in the Catholic Church, we don't say the priests are all righteous. No. Neither do we say that the priests and everybody else, even the archbishops, are infallible. No. They are human beings like us. And they have got emotions. And sometimes they argue from their emotions. Even priests, they have got political parties that they support. They have got political leaders that they support. That's why you see them when a certain political leader is arrested, you will see them. When others are arrested, you won't see them there. Because they have got friends, they are human beings. They are human beings. So, I am not one of those that we will take. No. He's a priest, don't argue with him. No. If the priest can also be wrong. The priest is a priest, and I will respect when he's celebrating mass. When he's celebrating mass, because the mass is not dependent on the actor. Mass is not dependent on the actor. It is not dependent on the actor. It is not dependent on the actor. It is dependent on God. But when you step aside, you are outside. You are in the realm of politics. You are in the realm of propaganda. I'll take you on. I'll take you on. I'll take you on. I will. I will take you on. I will take you on. We are all human beings. You can't be making such illogical arguments. Hey, give me an evidence for me to join this bandwagon. To say, the police vai payo muntu, vamuchita dissolve muslimuna. Give me some evidence. Not me in Ngulu. Na lilota. Ingulu. Ntampo kubibe Ngulu shove iwe. Imuna imwe kwanga loko. Mbibe Ngulu shove. Wasemuka. Why me? Why me is dead? Is this what if I believe it? If you are Ngulu shove, if you semuka, if I believe it. Bomba na reason. Make an argument that I can understand. And that I can understand. And when I challenge you, hey, that's why you left the country. You are out of the country because of Haka in the Ichirema. Therefore to the Randapo. Stick to the issue. Okay, yes, but is that the evidence that why me has been killed by the police? No, Hakainde Ichirema is made. Yes. But is that the evidence that why me has been killed? By the fact that I'm here. Is that the evidence? Is that the evidence? Be reasonable. That's all I ask you. That's all I ask you. Many of you don't respond to me. You don't respond on the issues. You go and start attacking me. Okay, fine. You can attack me. You can send them Shandawad. It's okay. You can say, I'm in exile. You can say, Tautasha. Okay. But can you address the issue? Can you give me some evidence? Can you give me some evidence where the police are coming in? Can you give me some evidence? Can you give me some evidence to say where why me was staying? He's no longer there. And people have confirmed that he's not there. Because we might be arguing like this, and yet why me? He's sitting comfortably in the room. And yet he's sitting comfortably in the room. We might be talking all these things. And many times, you people, propaganda, you come. How many people have you killed in your imaginations? Your hero. That's why you are busy talking about it. Your hero, I can't say it. I mean, for me, that guy, I mean, it's a pity that I'm even talking about him. But I'm talking about him because, I mean, you are spreading this in the public domain. So I need to address it. Hey, why me has been killed? Why me has been killed? Ako kaisa monekera mukoti. GPM has been killed. GPM is dead. Akakena kamukashana kanguluaka. Kalaka mukashana kala. Mwai katate. Kalaka muntu. You know, social media, we come here, I always say that all of us who come to social media and talk too much, we have got issues. Behind. Kalaka mwaicheka langa kanisa vaila ndakatamba kali kwa tobu afya. Awopo wawo afya. Pali wobu afya. And the only way she covers whatever she has behind is to come on social media no kuwe pavantu. GPM has been killed. Uyo GPM. Nishitaka tuishimba ina kujante mbaya ku South Africa. Hapa Turerand. Dimba ina ku South Africa kujante mba. Opo hawa GPM. Kwisa napadi ya ina ma issues. Va Edgar Lungu. Mulino running all sorts of agendas. No, tayari wakosa poshani. Tayari, why are you talking so much about Ishtumbi Chavene? Just leave the family. Whatever. Hakainde Ichirema. Halefo kulia Ishtumbi. Mwavika mwana wa mkuni nomba. Wa mkuni. Nishimale chita South Africa. Imwe. I mean, let's be real. Wakosa poshani. On issue of Edgar Lungu. My issue on Edgar Lungu is very simple. Very, very simple. My issue on Edgar Lungu is simply to say Lungu was a former head of state. Lungu was a former head of state and a Zambian for that matter. I am not one of those people that is going to pay, that is going to talk about the issues you have in a fresh sware. I'm not. I'm not going to run with those agendas. Lungu was a Zambian to start with. Lungu, as far as I'm concerned, Lungu was a Zambian. And Lungu became a president. Lungu is now dead in South Africa. What am I calling for? What am I calling for? I want you to listen to me good. Listen to me good. What am I talking about? What do I want in all this fracas? What do I want? Get it very clearly. All I want is Edgar Lungu, our former head of state, to be buried in Zambia, to be given a dignified send-off. I said this the moment I heard that Edgar Lungu is dead. That's what I said. That's what I said. I said this, go back to the video. The moment I heard, and the first time that I addressed the nation, I simply called that, can we bury the man in a dignified, can we give a man a dignified send-off? Let's have a good a funeral befitting the head of state. That is what I called for. This is what I am calling for even now. I don't want any. Lungu is gone. All I want is that Lungu is given a befitting send-off in Zambia and buried at the Embassy Park where other leaders are buried. That is what I want. It is very simple, very simple. It is not true. I'm not asking for anything. I'm simply asking, since he's our former head of state, give him a funeral befitting a former head of state. And let him be buried at the historical memorial park where other five other former heads of state or heads of state who were once heads of state are buried. That's all. That's all I want. That's all I want. Yes, I've come out strong in certain instances because I am fighting those that brought in politics. I changed my language and my approach to all this when I saw that some people had the ulterior motive. Number one, Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu looked at this as an opportunity for him to posture himself as, the anointed of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And he was even doing Mingalato amongst other leaders in PF. Bari Pwala, they didn't see it. Abena given Lubinda, abena brand mundu, abena mutotoka fwaya. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. Makebi Zulu was positioning himself. He was trying to chinga you. He was trying to overshadow. He was trying to elevate himself there. No, he's appointed family spokesperson. It is the family. It is the family. I've been saying the so-called family. Why I've been saying the so-called family? It is because when you talk about the family, it is basically, from my point of view, it is basically one person. It is basically one person who none of those people that are appearing, even the sister, the so-called sister, that was brought to say, Indina niwa pasampambo wa Makebi, Indina niwa uzavo kamba, whatever. She has no powers. She has no powers. The real power is in Esther Lungu. Esther Lungu is the real deal here. It's the real deal. Iniva Esther. Balawa Tasila, tapani hefo eshive. Tasila is crowded in the issue of to say, this is my stepmom, and she's the wife. Tasila is aware of this. Tasila has been intimidated by the fact that she knows that much as she is the daughter, she knows, Tasila knows this, much as she is the daughter, she has no right on the father, because the next of kin is the wife. The next of kin is the wife. So, the family, that's what I'm saying, the so-called family. Because the next of kin, it's Va Esther Lungu. Before anybody else. Before anybody else. No. The widow. That widow is powerful. That widow is the one that is playing all this. She's the one that is playing all this. She's the next of kin. There is nothing that anybody can say. And that is why they are not saying anything. Because the next of kin, it's Va Esther Lungu. That's the next of kin. That's the next of kin. Wonsawani Wangwele. Va Esther Ngatabalipo. Wonsawani Wangwele. Twala izandamuna. Lelo muledawo. Every cook South Africa. Every cook South Africa. And the number paka number 12 we will just be talking anyhow. We'll just be talking anyhow. Kaino kumpatana mumpatakade. So it's okay. Bambila muntana no kuntana. Muntana no tuma. It's okay. It's okay. They survivor. Now you cause about in them and they survivor. The joke will be on you. I will laugh at you last. I will laugh at you last. Paras namo kumyuma mwen ama nako nomba pum mambo kuilisha but ilade twalikofu Wangwele after mwantwala mumpanga mwandekelesha and you want me to praise you you want me to praise you mwansenda twachita agree no let's go and put up a fight. Let's go and fight. Ilona ana kuntanchi ninsenda na chieke 47 nderisha echechi papa echechi ndani uko papa shoot mwawekela kunmandoresha kunmatamuliko and you want me to continue praising you. No, Makebi Zulu used to help you. Makebi used to they would come to my house. And yes, I'm a camera. Oh, pick him. Whatever. Now I could na leva neka. I used to be alone. So this nonsense of saying, hey, Makebi Zulu helped you. Makebi Zulu helped you. Mulifipuba. The joke is on you. The joke is on you. Neka. Sort, ala charging kali papadi le assault, charging convicted of assault, which I didn't commit. I've been convicted on assault, which I didn't commit. If Makebi Zulu was there arguing, you think I would have lost because there was no evidence really. There was no evidence. So even when you're saying, no, it's a haka indechrem was made you. Yes, it is haka indechrem, but you also contributed. You also contributed. Because we went to war. And I was shooting in everywhere. Around the shooter. Shoot. You ran away from me. You leave me. And you want me to continue praising you, singing praises. For what? When you left me in the woods. When you left me in the woods. Even here where I've been, there were people that were saying, hey, no, we will support you. We will support you. You are a freedom fighter. You are a freedom. Go. We will support. Where are you today? I'm in the woods. I am in the woods right now. Where are you? I'm dying alone. I'm fighting alone. And you want me to continue? No, we helped you. I bought a air ticket. Yeah, you did, but here I am. If you didn't promise me that no, you will continue helping me, maybe I wouldn't have come here. Maybe I wouldn't. I did some of these things that I did based on what you told me that you will do. And if you, midway, you change because you want me to run a propaganda. That is where I differ with a lot of people. And that's where I want to tell you, even any one of you who is trying to help me, You should know this. I do things out of conscience. Even you who are here on social media today who are praising me, tomorrow when I take a stance on a thing that I don't agree at you, that you have no direction, no direction. You don't think. You don't think there is no direction, a direction one way, this way. Whatever nonsense, propaganda that you bring, whatever nonsense I should accept. You come, so if you feel a party, why me? You want me to accept, hey, why me? Blah, blah. And yet, you have got no evidence whatsoever. You want me to accept, to continue that. Eh? What is happening? It's over a month. Balungu tatuashika. And you want me to continue praising that, to continue accepting that nonsense. Just, we are helping Tayari. Because you are helping me. You want me. Ubushetani, pantu ni bushetani mulechita. Ni bushetani. Mwendo shini mwe. Te abu mulelu mbulati yo. Banani kane ba mukuni. Mwendo shini mwe. Ni mwendo shi. Ni mwamu alishiba yati kalungo fuafuide. Ni mwamu aliko. Ni mwamu alemtakanya eti kalungo aliluelo mwine. Eti kalungo alelanda. He used to say it. I'm not okay. But mwalinu ukumutakanya pirikete tieni. Inandeba tiyo. Lekeni balungu basale umbi. Hey, you have turned against balungu. Balungu used to say it. Mwale, you used to push balungu. Hey, you are a coward. Balungu Alexa come to say it. He used to say it. He used to mention people who were calling him coward. Munganda mumiago. He used to say. He used to tell me, you are tired, ulelanda kwati ni shan. Ubushiku bachanje bati, you are a coward. But I'm different. I'm not like Sata. Don't expect me to be like Sata. Balungu balelande fi. Balungu balelanda. Mwe bale tumikisha eti kalungu. Kuma politics ni mwe. Ni mama ale mtumikisha. Ni mama ale mtunkirisha. Kaviye umuine eti kalungu ali mwenati. Umumi wanjita buli bwino. Bati mama ale mtunkirisha. Mpaka eti kalungu afuida mu. Velo mubuka tiyo ni akainda ichilimo alenga. Awe. You are the people that were pushing this man. And anyone who has got guts, don't talk about, no, niwamushani na wali, no, challenge me. If what I'm saying here is not true, challenge me here. That Edgar Lungu was not complaining, being called a coward. Edgar Lungu was not complaining, being told to continue in politics. Edgar Lungu was not being told to be like Sata. You challenge me on that. Don't come up. No, I am making statements here. I want somebody to say, Tayari, you are lying. What you are saying is not true. I want somebody to come here and tell me what you are saying is not true. Tell me what you are saying is not true. You pushed Edgar Lungu. You were pushing him. Let Edgar Lungu give somebody else. Mwalekana. You were refusing. Edgar Lungu was ready to let go. That's how he allowed me to say, go and campaign for Mundubire. And I went out campaigning for Mundubire. Edgar Lungu told me, not a chance, he told me, I'm not okay, Shan. By South Africa, I went to South Africa. You are saying, no, Edgar Lungu was not being allowed to go out of the country. Edgar Lungu used to go out of the country before he came back into politics. Edgar Lungu was going out of Zambia before he came back into politics. Edgar Lungu was freely jogging before he came back into politics. Edgar Lungu was going kuma churches and whatever without any problem before he came back into politics. It was after you people pushed him back into politics. That all these problems started. And today you want to turn around to say, Hakainde Hichilema has killed him. You forced him into politics. You people, you forced him into politics. You pushed him back into politics. And when he went into politics, Hakainde Hichilema now, no. Of course, I'm not saying it is right. It is right. But unfortunately, politics plays out like that. That's why you don't see me crying. That's why you don't see me crying. Because I know this is part of politics. This is part of politics. Going in exile is part of politics. How many people have gone in exile? How many people? It is part of politics. I'm a politics there. Politics is rough anywhere in the world. And Edgar Lungu met this wrath because you people forced him into politics. And you were using Edgar Lungu. Now he's dead. You are still using Edgar Lungu. And you are calling yourselves family. Tapale formula, you are just using. If anything, I am even more family to Edgar Lungu because at least I am saying, let Edgar Lungu rest in peace. Imwa tamulefwa Lungu alale. Tamulefwa Lungu alale, tamulefwa Lungu alale, tamulefwa. You don't want Edgar Lungu to rest in peace. You don't want. You don't want Edgar Lungu to rest in peace. If there are people who are being uncouth, if there are people who are it's not me. Because you are saying, hey, tayari. It is you people who are doing. If nipamba, what you are doing is taboo. It's taboo. Hey, no. How can the government take a widow to court? I mean, the widow herself. Which widow did you see? Where did you see that? Where did you see that? Where did you see a widow using Ichitumbi, to manipulate a government? Because that's what they're doing here. They are manipulating a government. There is something that they want. Which widow did that? In the first place, when Edgar Lungu died, they didn't want to announce. They didn't want to announce. They wanted to embalm Edgar Lungu and keep him for a long time. That's what they wanted. Unfortunately, the news had already gone out. The news had already gone out. So they had no choice. They had no choice but to come out. And then they started playing now their cards. They started playing their cards. No, Tasila. And, you are being pushing. You are, Tasila, to tell you the truth, they are pushing you in a very awkward position. They are throwing you in a valley of fire. Valley of fire. These people who are no, you can be president, you can be president. They are throwing you into the valley of fire. Because when it comes to politics, it is something else. I like Tasila. You know Tasila is my sweetheart. But unfortunately, when it comes to politics, it is something else. It is something else, my politics. When you step in politics, be ready to be bent. Be ready to be scorched. Be ready to be scorched. My politics, my politics. That's why now my kepi Zulu now because my politics, So, instead of whatever, doing what is right, informing the government, and then the government, whatever. Tasila let Tasila announce. Tasila was there announce. It was there announced because somebody, they were inciting Tasila. No, you can be president. You can take over from your father. Hey. Don't play around with politics. Don't play around with politics. We are here. We are doing politics here. It's not joke, man. It's not joke that we angala payo. My politics are. You think I'm here in exile for nothing? To just come and allow some American to come and become president? You think I'm going to allow that? You think I'm going to allow that? You think I'm going to allow a small boy like Makebi Zulu I should just sit there and allow Makebi Zulu to play his cards and allow him to go to State House. You think I'm going to allow that? You think I'm going to allow that? You think other politicians, I don't know about others anyway, I'll talk about myself. I'll talk about myself. If you think I'm joking with my political career, hey, the joke is on you. I am really serious. Look what I've lost. I've lost almost everything. I've lost almost everything. And you think I'm going to just watch Tasila from nowhere, because your father, whatever, become president. Oh, Makebi Zulu become president. You think I'm going to allow you just like that? You think I'm going to allow you? Missionary Pena. All this nonsense I've gone through. From nowhere. We saw the Kateka, even Sharende Kutamba. Mulaivepa. And one say, watch me, because you won't have it easy. After Aka in the Ichilema, the next guy that is coming, we will not pass through we will not slip through my fingers. You will not slip through my fingers to become president in Kenya. You will not slip through my fingers to become president. Tamuakanchinge. After Aka in the Ichilema, tukembana inama mumeno. Tukembana. We will pluck out meat out of each other's teeth. You should know. Don't think that you're going to have it easy. To become president, the next president after Aka in the Ichilema. Naka in the Ichilema di Shiva. Haka in the Ichilema di Shiva. And in Shirelanda Jam, I'm not talking like this from without. You all know. Vaka in the Ichilema. To alipitene, to alikonkene. Niko repitane mbwa. Mapitilo Aka in the Ichilema. Mapitilo Aka in the Ichilema. Mpaka la ilishanya wa mdala. Chilishani wakaishiwe. Unkonka fe. Ulemba kupa fimuti. Talk about fimuti. Mdala ndakonka nganasuma ndasuma. Nshangara yo. If you think I'm joking, I'm not joking. I am not joking. I know what I'm doing. And I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. And I'm not going to allow, to come and bypass me. I'm very serious about my political career, and I have drawn it. I know where it's going. I know. Apa tulemuleka Aka in the Ichilema. 2026. Ndemuleka Aka in the Ichilema. Apa Nsharona ngwa Aka in the Ichilema. I will not be fighting Aka in the Ichilema. You must know. For your own information. I'm not fighting with Aka in the Ichilema. I am not going to fight with Aka in the Ichilema. And it is not out of foolishness that I'm not going to fight with Aka in the Ichilema. It is part of my political strategy. Because Aka in the Ichilema, now take one term, another term, Aka push 2 terms. After nga push 2 terms, ero kukusai dukunomba, tukesa ingiramu. For now, let Aka in the Ichilema go. And none of you is going to beat Aka in the Ichilema. You have got an illusion. That's why you are holding on na kuchitumbi. No, Aka in Head Kalungu will be given a state funeral, but not under this administration. Because you are thinking that Aka in the Ichilema will lose the next election. Then never listen to me. Aka in the Ichilema is not losing the next election. Because I might even campaign for him. I might even campaign for him. And I can campaign for him by shooting down some of you. I may not support Aka in the Ichilema. To say, no, Aka in the Ichilema, let Aka in the Ichilema become president. I may not even vote for him. In 2021, I didn't vote for him, but I campaigned for him. I campaigned for Aka in the Ichilema. I didn't vote for him, but I campaigned for Aka in the Ichilema. 2026, I might even go flat out campaigning for Hakainde Hichilema. I might even go flat out campaigning for Hakainde Hichilema. Because I don't want to allow small boys like Makebi Zulu to come. I don't want. Come on. We have been at this for a long time. For a long time. I'm not going to allow some of these guys. But when the time will come, I'll be mentioning your names and I'll be finishing you. I'm telling you, Tamwaka Itambe, I may not be in Zambia, but you will not have it easy. And you will not just have it anyway. Not even having it easy. You will not have it. 2026, Hakainde Hichilema is bouncing back. Le sale musungafi. Mule mpepere lako. Hakainde Hichilema akapite. He's passing through. Hakainde Hichilema le pita 2026. He's going through. Tapali. Who is going to come? Oh, naimwe Tapali ndemi Tapali. And me, I am on Hakainde Hichilema at this point in time. I'm not on Hakainde Hichilema so that Hakainde Hichilema can bring me back to Zambia. It is my political strategy. Ala, nsumi nishaumbi, ntwanika ne esepo, nishinambo kuwa na 10 years foot. Chaoma ndiro na 5 years. Apande fokula na 5 years. And therefore kuwa na 5 years because Hakainde Hichilema nikushele 5 years. So and therefore I want to fight. I want 5 years, not 10 years. It won't happen. Hakainde Hichilema is coming back. He's coming back, and I'm telling you so that Mushibe, it is part of my point. Hey, no, he wants to come back. No. I'm not fighting to come back. Because I'm still a political opponent. I'm still a threat to UPND. I'm still a threat. What am I going to do in UPND? There is Tabo Kawana there. There is Max Muwe. There is Frank Bwadia. There are too many players there. So where am I going to fit? I think. Ndaitamba ile ashani hapa. Ni pesa ndeika, ngana fuma hapa. Ndeika na pesa, ni pesa. Ile ashani. Na chokura ave chimpurwa. Hey, Daddy wants to come back. Ndeisa mko jitenshi ku Zambia. Ndikuno nango abantu bakwa Edgar Lungu. The friends of Edgar Lungu nango bandekelesha. Ndeikala. I will stay. I'm not moving. I'm going to stay here. I am going to stay here. Know it. Whether whoever it is, but I'll be here. But one day you will face me. If you leave me in the woods, you should know. One day you will face me. All those who have left me in the woods, one day you will face me. One day you will need me. Tiaba Makebi Zulu. Bala shine the woods. Vaisa balande fungu panganda. Njakuma coach tabale munika. Mpaka wankaka. Teapa. Because Makebi Zulu would have been very happy. Me speaking on his side. But I cannot speak on his side. Makebi Zulu can't be president. He failed to be an MP. How can Makebi Zulu be president? Using Ishtumbi Chakwa Lungu. Using the body of Edgar Lungu. Because this is what it is. Even therefore Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. In a dignified manner. But what do these other people want? The so-called, hey, family. I want to ask you, what do they want? I'm going to open phone lines. When I open phone lines, I want you to tell me, Echoba Esther Lungu balefwa chinshi. Icho Makebi Zulu alefwa chinshi. No, they want to bury in South Africa. Why do they want to bury in South Africa? That's a question that you should answer. Hey, Barekefe, you tell me, give me a good reason why Edgar Lungu should be buried in South Africa. Give me a good reason. When I open the phone lines, you Tell us why Edgar Lungu should be buried in South Africa. Don't give me the nonsense of saying, no, Edgar Lungu said, I don't want Hakainde Hichilema to preside over my funeral. Don't bring that nonsense. Because the things that I've told you, I heard them from Edgar Lungu. But I never heard him speaking so, with such hatred against Hakainde Hichilema. No, I never heard him. I never heard him. And I am taking it. If you have evidence to that effect, bring that evidence. Bring that evidence. And okay, fine. Even if he said it, he might have said it, of course, mukufulwa. He might have been upset. He might have been hurt. Yes, it's true. I mean, he was hurt. That is a fact. He was hurt. That's a fact. But what about him? How did he treat Hakainde Hichilema? Because whilst you are busy saying, no, Hakainde Hichilema did this to Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema did this to Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema did this to Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema should apologize. Like somebody was suggesting. Hakainde Hichilema should have apologized. What about Edgar Lungu? If you compare what Edgar Lungu did to Hakainde Hichilema, compare to what HH has done to him. Hakainde Hichilema didn't even touch Edgar Lungu personally. He didn't. He didn't touch Edgar Lungu personally. He didn't remove his immunity. He didn't arrest him. Of course, he went for the family and whatever. But surely it is not the same. 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 So, I mean, when you are busy, Edgar Lungu said this. Edgar Lungu said this. Edgar Lungu said this. What about himself? What did he do? And should we continue with bitterness? Should we continue with bitterness? Should Edgar Lungu be buried in South Africa out of bitterness? Because the reasons that you have, where you are saying, no, Tayari, don't talk about this, Tayari, don't talk about this, Tayari, don't talk about this. It is all bitterness. That's the only. You have no good reason apart from bitterness and hatred. That's all. That's all you have. At least this is what you have brought out to the public. This is what you have brought out to the public. This is what you have brought out to the public. You have only brought out bitterness and hatred. That's all. You want to bury Edgar Lungu in another country. Because of what? Because of bitterness. No, Edgar Lungu said, Hakainde Hichilema should not preside over the funeral. That is bitterness. That is bitterness. It is bitterness. No, because Hakainde Hichilema refused him to go to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. What about Edgar Lungu? How many things did he do on HH? How many? And somebody said, no, but then Hakainde Hichilema was in opposition. He was not president. Come on. It's the same thing. This is a human being. Do you remember what they did to Community House? Do you remember how they traumatized the family? Do you remember? So how can you try to be righteous, self-righteous? And no, it's okay. He can delegate somebody. That is bitterness against a person. That is hatred against one person. That is hatred against one person. You want to have, no, we can have it, but Hakainde Hichilema should not be there. Isn't that hatred? Isn't that hatred? We want, no, we are ready to have it. We can have it. We are ready to go to Zambia. But Hakainde Hichilema should not be there. Isn't that hatred for this particular individual? Even if Hakainde Hichilema has done what and what and what, ngachala kumfua. We don't bring such issues. We don't bring such bitterness. We don't bring such hatred. We don't do that. We don't do that. We just don't do that. It's a shame to some of you who are even supporting this kind of nonsense. It's a shame. It's a shame. You are supporting hatred. You are supporting bitterness. You are supporting. No, Hakainde Hichilema should not be there. Hey, you should delegate. Hey, you should delegate. What are you trying to say on Hakainde Hichilema? What are you saying? You are simply bringing out hatred for this one particular individual. This one particular individual. Nganifyo hawe, uyunga sangwa kwenye shichilio takwawe. Hatred against an individual. Hatred. And on top of that, I mean, the man is the head of state. The man is the head of state. The man is the head of state. You want ukumupoka mu president wakwe. Obo Hakainde Hichilema chulile. Ali uchulile Hakainde Hichilema. 17 years Hakainde Hichilema. 17 years he has been fighting to become president. Ero iwe Makebi Zulu. Because na mkwate chitumbi chawa lungu. You want to suspend him. You want to get that opportunity from him. The president is to preside over state functions. Is to preside over state functions. But you munefa mumutse suspend. Ba Makebi Zulu. Mwewa rushirama elections pa 10 hours. Ku constituency. You want to come and suspend. Imwe mukalande. Kai ni mwewa muliko. You want to be the one to come and talk now. No. You see, we moved by economy. And that plane has got no first class. The plane that you use has got no first class. And what the heck? I mean, you traveled. Ukuba, Magromaniac. And we moved in economy. And when we arrived, we used the Uber. Nonsense. So what? So what? And so you want to talk like that, whilst the HH will be sitting in the living room watching, the way you did Palikaunda. Get it, guys? The guy is the president now. He's the president. You cannot throw him back into the sitting room. Namwebale supporter. Even you who are supporting. Does that make sense? The president to be suspended because of Ichitumbi Chava Lungu. Because of Ichitumbi Chava Lungu. Does that make sense? Because of hatred. Because of bitterness. Does that make sense? Awa mkwai nenda na mati. Mwebale po ukunsula. Awa nenda na masheni kutishava. Nenda na masheni kutishava. Because I am very sure on this one, I'm standing on firm ground. I am very sure, even na lesa kumuro na mwana tawe, tayari ulife wino hapa. Ina lesa raranda na ine. Lesa raranda na ine ndekala na paper. I sit down, I pray, I reflect, I go through things and whatever. If I see that the path I've taken is not right, I do come here and apologize. I do come here and apologize. I am a politician. I'm the only genuine politician who, when I think that I'm wrong, I come back here and apologize. I come back here and apologize because nishna paper, I reflect, I look at things. Lesanje ba tayari apata udi right. But panda pitamo nganavu kana pishamo. Bare sawandi, come on. Let's look at this issue now. Let's look at this issue. How do you think I should handle it? There is this person who is telling me, no, don't talk about this. Don't talk about this person. He's telling me this and this, and you know, so God, to have so much hapa. Mule mwana poshan. Lesa ranje bachao, you are right hapa. You are right. You are right. Lesa ranje ba, filife wine furedan. Ifaranda banto, tafikweta manu hapa. No, let Edgar Lungu rest in peace. Ni mwe, it's you who don't want Edgar Lungu to rest in peace. Because even in South Africa, even if you bury Edgar Lungu in South Africa, Edgar Lungu will not be resting in peace until that body comes into Zambia. And you know it. You know it. You know will not be resting in South Africa. You know. You know. But no, because Mwa Shetani, you still want to use Edgar Lungu the same way that you were using Edgar Lungu when he was alive. You want to use Edgar Lungu. You are using Edgar Lungu. Chitumbi chakwa Edgar Lungu. Ejo ali mutunture Edgar Lungu mwalemu bomfia. Ilo ali mu State House mwalemu bomfia. Afu ma mu State House mwalemu bomfia. Nomba Edgar Lungu nafwa na mifuira ali maboko yenu. Ali maboko yenu Edgar Lungu afu di maboko yenu. Afu di maboko yenu. ngakufi konka ngatrefo ati to tampe in pikiso. If we want to be funny, you are the ones that we should be asking. Charlie Shani, how did he die? Bamayo Esther Lungu, ni mwatwinga teka pesaka. Ni mwatwinga teka pesaka mayo tweweni. Mwaendele shani na walungu. Bafuile shani. Charlie Shani tweweni shimikeni. But all these things come after you have buried. But imwe tamulefwano kushika. Tamulefwa change mwambosa lele chitumbi, change mwikatiri. Teine. Ine ndefwa Edgar Lungu alale. Ndefwa Edgar Lungu alale muchi wote. Ngefya banankwe walala pale pa Embassy Park. Efyo ndefwa ya. I simply want Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. Tapali findefo ndefwa ya. And in saying that, I have risked people withdrawing their help. I rely on people's help here. That's a fact. It's not Balungu. Because some of you have been saying, oh, Balungu, you see, Balungu now is dead. How are you going to survive? It is not Balungu who was helping me here. It is people, but these people, they were friends with my Edgar Lungu. So yeah. And these people, they are very upset with me. They are not even talking to me. But I am right on this one. I'm ready to risk whatever it is. God will look after me. I am convinced. Hey, no, HH has given you money. Hey, whatever. I've not gotten any money from UPND. UPND, they are broke people. They are broke people by UPND. They are broke people. They are broke by UPND. Who do they give money? My car budget kuno kali endelela ka budget kandi kuno kali wako pamuru. Ka budget kandi. But UPND can't sustain that budget. But in spite of all that, I know, in spite of all that, I am risking it because I believe my God agrees with me on this one. And when my God agrees with me, I will not suffer. Now, I will not suffer. I will still survive. Because what I'm doing is right. And I'm speaking for my Edgar Lungu. Some people are saying, no, hey, you have turned against Edgar Lungu in his death. You have turned against Edgar Lungu. I'm speaking for Edgar Lungu. If there is anyone who is speaking for Edgar Lungu, it's me. Edgar Lungu is dead. And as he is dead, I am sure if his spirit can listen or can say something, I'm sure all he would want is that, please, lekeni ntushe. The same way he used to talk about politics. Edgar Lungu, he was reluctant to come back into politics. He was reluctant. And I used to tell people, there are people and they agree with me. Because some of these people, I used to go and tell them to say, muntu wandi, ukuna fuma. Mundala ale monekefi. But kuliba chite na chite, eva le mtunka. There are people who can bear me witness. There are people I told how Edgar Lungu was being pushed in politics. Of course, at that time, I couldn't come out and say, how Edgar Lungu, no, I couldn't. I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I am talking now. It is because of what they are doing. I am saying this to back up a point to say, Edgar Lungu was being used when he was still alive. And they are still using him. The same way you are seeing them holding on Kuchitumbi. If you are what you are seeing is a clear example, or it is an exposition of how these people used Edgar Lungu. Don't take it for granted that no, family. Some people, they cannot be family. Some people, yes, you can be related by blood. You can be related by marriage. But some people, they are not really our relatives. Some people, they are not really our families. Some people, other people who may not even be blood related, can be more family than the people that you are calling family. That's why I keep saying so-called family. There are many people that relate to us just because it suits us, just because they have got an agenda. Just because they have got an agenda. They will call you, no, Tahad is my husband, Tahad is my husband, Tahad is my husband. Simply because there is an agenda that they have. They have an ulterior motive. Without that ulterior motive, they might not even be there. There are people, including children, even children. Children, sometimes they take advantage. How many children disappear? But they have no regard for that father. No regard. No regard. The moment president, they come to say, my father. This is common. Even with children, they are really people that but as long as they are not doing good, they will not be there. Even me, where I am, I've got people who are my relatives. But as long as I'm still struggling here, is Tahad your relative? They will even refuse. They have refused. Some of them, they even don't invite me to their weddings. They don't even to their funerals. Because, no, Tahad, what for social media? What, not nothing. Then Kawaka they will be the number one to say, Tahad is my cousin. Tahad is my brother. Hey, Tahad is my father. You see? And even when I will be retiring, there will be those people who will be pushing, no, continue. So, that's why I'm saying the so-called family. Because if really this family means well, there is no way they can emphasize on bitterness. There is no way. There is no way. Because give me the reasons. It's all bitterness. It's all bitterness. How can you justify barring another president in another country based on bitterness, based on hatred on one man? Yes, I'm in exile because of Hakainde Hichilema. But come on. When I will die, don't tell me that, no, even your children. My children can never behave like that. My children can never behave like that. My children can never behave like that. I can tell you, my children can never behave like that. You will not hear anyone in my family talking about Hakainde Hichilema. No, you did this. No, you did. You will not hear that. You will not get that. You will not get. Because I teach my children love. I don't teach my children bitterness. No ways. I don't teach them bitterness. My children have got no issue with anyone. You can meet them wherever they are. You will never hear them speak ill of Hakainde Hichilema. You will not. Based on me, no. Of course, they are adults. Maybe if there are policies that they don't agree. Maybe. But no, my children are not even involved in this family politics. No, they are not. They are not. Because I've told them politics is brutal. You get there, you get scorched. So in way, there is no reason, Tapani, there is no reason I am going to open phone lines. You tell me, what are the reasons justifying barring Edgar Lungu there? And you are doing propaganda. No, the South African government. There is that headline in that newspaper. I will not mention the newspaper because I'm part of it. That newspaper, I'm part of it. We started it together, that newspaper. That newspaper, we started it together. And I'm loyal. But look, they wrote a screaming once to bury Edgar Lungu. They respect the wishes of the family. And now you have even brought a letter dated 24th June. 24th June. But look, your letter, Mufumishe, that letter which you have brought out, that letter, look at the subsequent amount. And even in that letter, there is nowhere where the South African has said, no, Zambian government is wrong. They have said, you know, they are open. The last paragraph there is saying, they wish these negotiations can whatever, and government is ready to help. The South African government has been courteous The South African government been sympathetic to the family, but they are very clear. You don't listen. You don't understand. You don't get diplomacy. You don't get diplomacy. The South African government has clearly said they want Edgar Lungu to be buried as a former head of state in Zambia. That is what they want. That is what they want. And then, because the family is there, they say, okay. But if the wish of the family is to, okay, we will respect that. South Africa doesn't want to appear uncouth. They don't want to appear, like people without hearts. They are looking at the family. They are considering them as a bereaved family. People who have lost somebody. So they are sensitive. They are sensitive. But clearly, what South Africa wants is that Edgar Lungu be buried in Zambia. That's what they want. But since you are insisting, well, okay, we can have him here. That is what the South African government is saying. So don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake to say South Africa wants Edgar Lungu. No, they have clearly said it. They have clearly said it. Tamule fo kumfua. Now never diplomatically, now never timwe kabieni. Diplomatically, they have told you, but you don't want to listen. And since they cannot guguza you into Zambia, they are saying, okay. But really, they don't want. They don't want Edgar Lungu's body there. They don't want. They don't want. They lie. Don't lie. Don't put up. Their statements have been very clear. Anywhere, they have always stated it. Our considered view, language, the diplomatic language, but what we want, that is our considered view. The diplomatic language, Edgar Lungu be buried as a head of state in Zambia. But at the same time, we have to listen to the family. Listen to the family. What are they saying? You think South Africans, you think Cyril Ramaphosa is happy with your hatred against Hakainde Hichilema? Eh? You think the politicians in South Africa, they are happy with your hatred because you don't have reason. Ama reason yako tuendele na economy, tuendele pa uba, bali mkanyo kuisa, whatever he said. All that is bitterness and hatred against one man. You think those people, South Africans, are so foolish to your nonsense, into your pettiness. They can see it. Just that they are respecting you as a family who are believing. But me, I know you. Me, I know you. I know you people. I know you. I know you. You can fool others. You can't fool me. You can't fool me. Me, I know. I know the stubborn people around Edgar Lungu. I know the people that were pushing him in fire. I know. And you even wanted to turn around. You know exactly how Edgar Lungu died, but you wanted to turn around. No, he has been poisoned. What kind of people are you? What kind of people are you? Edgar Lungu, whatever. I mean, everything. There was those points which people are sharing. The court asks, did Edgar Lungu come here in his own person? No, he came in his own person. Yes, he did. He came on his own. Did you allow him to whatever? If the government didn't want Edgar Lungu to fly out, he wouldn't have used our international airport. They allowed it. Did you pay any bills? No. There is a letter which was written to Secretary to Cabinet. And Secretary to Cabinet said, we are ready to help. And they said, no, we are going to pay by ourselves. Because you are using that letter. You are using those points. Like, Pariyama point, sana pari. No, did you pay any bills? There is a letter that was written to say, please, can you, we are ready to help. And they said, no, We are going to do it on our own. So how did you expect government to pay? When he died, and this is a big point, when he died, were you treating him as a former head of state? Did you consider him as a former head of state? No, we didn't consider him as a former head of state. So how do you want to consider him a former head of state when he's dead? Thinking. Eti Kalungu, when he left State House, and resigned from active politics, he resigned, he wrote a letter and signed it. When he did that, the government of Hakainde Hichilema, they were paying him. They were giving him the benefits as prescribed by our laws. They were doing that. Hakainde Hichilema, we are not going to give you because you put me in jail, because you did what, because you Impolo Polo Shari leader. No, he didn't do that. He started giving him. Hakainde Hichilema, as much as, he has got his issues, I'm not saying he's a perfect guy, but really, I mean, in some of these things, let's give the man the credit that he deserves. Surely. I mean, let's be fair with him. Let's be fair with Hakainde Hichilema. I am not saying he's the best guy. No. But let's be fair with Hakainde Hichilema. When Eti Kalungu resigned, Hakainde Hichilema did not look at the bad things that he did to him. He didn't. Instead, he was giving him what he deserved. He was giving him. Flying out, he was going. Eti Kalungu used to travel and government used to pay. You can challenge me. When he went to South Africa, who paid? It is government. When he went to Korea, who paid? It is government. All things started changed when people around him, including those in his house, pushed him back into politics. They pushed him back into politics. I met Eti Kalungu several times before I could launch the Alebo Nilapua agenda. Several times. Finally, go and campaign. Go and campaign for Mundubile. Go. And I came out. These things, I'm not lying. You people, you remember I was campaigning for Brian Mundubile. He told me, go and campaign for Brian Mundubile. And I came out, gun blazing, campaigning for Mundubile. Fiakosa. Bambo kumuteperesha Edi Kalungu. Mukawasia waka president, basaka mivala. Bantu amachinja. Edi Kalungu, reluctantly, Kalungu Valeranda, he used to say these things. We are trying. This one told me this. This one told me this. This one told me this. What do you think? I'm like, no. Let me go and think about it. And some of these people, when he mentioned some of these people, they are big people. They are people that have got serious influence. You cannot just come and say, no, they are wrong. You just keep quiet. You go and you talk to other people. Ukunachia, mwana nifana sang. Mailo aweke ako, no, now no yachi sanjeba. Even this one told me this. Even this one told me this. Even when this, at the end of the day, I say, mundubile. Muntu anji. Apana ishupa. Chetu wike mhydrin. Chetu wike neutral. Aveni wa mdala de, vengire po. Efuna wele numba. Hale la po. Pushing the agenda. Amari resources takudi. Takwadi amari resources. Ilo tuwali na mundubile. Kwali kono tuma resources. Wapitana kwa mundubile. Akudisha koka 5 pili. Wapitana kwa mundubile. Kuma kosa. mundu vile vewarera ningiro to na mundu vile ale tuminako iwe chambaira kabiye ni muntu ali huko chambaira isa kirikiti iyo to isa ingira kuri barungu kwa ingira avena makebi zuru kumonekera fenga kuja makamera after makamera muntu wandi washara weka. These are real stories muntu wandi, these are real stories. At least muntu vile even put up a better fight. Muntu vile put up a better fight even in supporting me kuma court. Muntu vile did a much better job. The lawyers that muntu vile was sending at least by shine weramu ilo kwa ishe ingira avena makebi zuru va ingira munomu muntu wandi nankani Benjamin I mean uli muntu sana Benjamin mwero uli muntu sana those are lawyers that I should appreciate. Benjamin has been with me for a long time. Benjamin has been with me from a long time. Even when the PF they were in power, Benjamin was coming in. Those are the people that I should be praising. Not these people who are just coming for cameras. Afterwards, bakuleka washala weka. Jonas shirekulanda po mwandi. Jonas shirekulanda po Jonas tetingwi kateko. Tetingwi kateko kaida pandelanda na pali wa boss owe. Songa na kuikatako. Awe shirefo kulete mpasa se kukuna nikane Jonas. But Jonas Jonas Zimba. That's all I can say. I know people who have helped me from deep down their hearts. I know people that really wanted to help me as a brother, as a friend. Not these people who are coming to stage themselves, so that you can see them, so that you can be talking to say, hey, makebi. Afterwards, because kumakoti ekuba kantu. Ine Makebi Zulu has never stood for me in court. So Makebi Zulu never stood for me in court. Not even one day. Makebi Zulu has never represented me. He has never represented me. Jonas Zimba used to come to court and used to argue very well. But wadawa fe kwa umuntu mutari Jonas wamona ambokura ipipa. You see what I mean? You get my point? So anyway, the point is that all this afterwards, I ain't gonna number ingira ma politics. Ero number wa aka indi chile manabo. Machinery ya ingira. A picture of maybe I am for indalama. Because indalama tapadi, that's for sure. Indalama tapadi. You people think that no, Edgar Lungu had so much money. There was no money. That's why I was even very surprised when I heard of $400,000. I was very surprised. Trust, if that story was told to me by somebody, I would have refused to say, no, it's not true. I would have refused. Because there was no money, at least from me. I never saw the money. And I really don't think that there were people that really chewed money from Edgar Lungu. No, I doubt. Not even Avenaka Chinda. They were making money because of their positions and whatever. Not really from Edgar Lungu. There was no money. Hakainde Ichirema did a good job to squeeze him financially. And so now, because of the politics, when he wants to go out, by UPND, they were thinking he's going to look for money. And when he gets the money, that's why they were blocking him. My politics, it was not to say, no, so that he should die. No. And by the way, there was nothing that was coming concretely to say, this, no, nothing. So, my politics, withdraw ama benefits yakwa Edgar Lungu. It is because of politics that they withdrew the benefits. And now, even when he was going to South Africa, government wanted to help, but they refused. And now, you are saying no, but he died without those benefits. Ama benefits, they were removed because he was doing politics. Listen to me and listen to me good. Benefits were removed because Edgar Lungu was doing politics. He was doing politics. It was not personal. It was not about because it's Edgar Lungu. No. It was because he was doing politics, and the constitution says no. Don't give money to somebody who is in politics, because these others are not receiving money. These other politicians are not receiving money. Now, Edgar Lungu is dead. Edgar Lungu is dead. Automatically, the benefits are restored. Automatically they are restored. No question about it. How are they restored? Because Edgar Lungu is not doing politics in death. Edgar Lungu has been made to resign out of politics because of his death. Death has made Edgar Lungu resign from politics. Edgar Lungu is no longer doing politics. And since he's a former head of state, the moment he's not doing politics, he's entitled to those benefits. And that is how the government is saying everything has been restored. It is not because Hakainde Hichilema is trying to do PR. No, it is not about that. It is not because Hakainde Hichilema is doing mockery. No. It is very simple. When the former is entitled to the full benefits, when he's not doing politics. The question that I ask you, you people with hard heads, the question that I ask you, is Edgar Lungu doing politics now? Is Edgar Lungu doing politics in death? He's not. He's not. He has been retired by death. Death has retired Edgar Lungu. And since he has been retired by death, all the benefits come back. He's entitled to them. But because of your bitterness, you are talking about, no, but when he came, when he went to South Africa, was he the head of state? Hey, now he has died. How come he has become? It's your bitterness. Bitterness is making you fail to reason. Fail to reason. You are not reasoning because of your bitterness. What you want is bitterness. But if you are able to reason, you will ask yourself this question to say, is Edgar Lungu still doing politics? See, he's not. He's not doing politics. He's dead. And since he's not doing politics, he has been retired by death. All the benefits must come back. But no, you don't want Edgar Lungu to die. You don't want Edgar Lungu to die. He's dead, but you can't believe it that he's dead. You are scared. You are scared of your cases. You are scared of your political careers. And you want Edgar Lungu to keep on living. He's dead. If you had a way, you would have made that Edgar Lungu not to die. But our lives belongs to God. So God decided to say, no, vakushupa sana wabantu, mwalimu shupa Edgar Lungu. Mwalimu shupa. Mwalimu shupile, andilesa mipokolola. Kaya tushe. Lesa o mipokolola. It's God that intervened in Edgar Lungu. You used this man for too long. And God said, come and rest. But no, you don't want him to rest. You don't want him to rest. Burying him in South Africa, he will not be resting. Edgar Lungu will not be resting until that body is brought to Zambia. And that is for sure. The body will come. It will definitely come. It may not come now, but it will definitely come. So burying him there, you still want to hold on to Edgar Lungu. That's why you want to bury him there. Who is wrong between Makembe Zulu and the so-called family and the government? Who? Because Hakainde Hichilema, he would have also said, this man, he treated me bad when he was president. I'm not going to give him a state funeral. After all, it is at my discretion. He would have done that. He would have done that. And what would you have said? If Hakainde Hichilema had said, when he heard Edgar Lungu has died, what if Hakainde Hichilema said, I'm not going to give him a state funeral? That man treated me very bad. He put me in cells for 3 months, in jail for 3 months. He put me in cells in Rwanda. He put me in cells in Ndola. They shot at me They shot at me in Kaoma. They shot live bullets. What if Hakainde bring out this? Because what you're forgetting is that Hakainde Hichilema has also a story against Edgar Lungu. He has. But the guy in this instance is a bigger guy. He has put aside all that. Hakainde Hichilema has put aside all that. Don't forget that he also has issues. He has a story that he can tell you out of bitterness if he wants. He can run you through what he went through if he wants. But the guy has become a bigger guy. He's saying, forget about all that. It was politics. Let the man come. We're giving him a dignified send-off. We bury him where others have buried. Surely that must be appreciated. You must appreciate that. Hakainde Hichilema knows the Mingalato that is being played here. He knows the Mingalato that is being played. But he has decided to ignore that. He says, when there is a bereavement, people mourn differently. Others they insult, others they do what. You see? What more do you want from this guy? Because if I talk about Milimil tomorrow, you'll be like, hey, tell you have changed. Because logic I'm talking about this. I'm talking about Edgar Lungu's issue. Hakainde Hichilema has done very well. He has done very well. Very fair. Let's be fair, man. Let's be fair. Yes, I'm in exile. But surely, just because I'm in exile, I shouldn't see this. I shouldn't. I should start twisting it around. No, Hakainde Hichilema is just do. No, guys, no. Let's be fair. Let's be objective. This guy has done well. What he wants is the unity of the country. He doesn't want, another side, another one that side. No, let all of us unite. Let him be at Embassy Park. When people come and they want to hear about our story, about our history, there will be somebody that will say, here is Kenneth Kaunda. This is where he lies. And this is what he stood for. Love your neighbor, love yourself. Okay, this is Chiluba. This is the man that declared. Hey, from there, this is Mwanawasa. Mwanawasa, he fought corruption. Hey, let's go to, this is Sata. He's the one that started, road projects and whatever. Hey, this is Arabi. Arabi, is a man that brought stability in the economy. He left his reserves and whatever. Eh? And this is Edgar Lungu. The man who declared 18th October as a day of prayer and fasting. And yet, in his death, his widow is holding on. Sizaenda kulusaka. Sizaenda, singaende. Wazati chinjira. Therefore yava. Inanangu mumpate. Efo nderanda. I've checked it with God. And God said, you are right. If you think otherwise, you can give me a call right now. If you think otherwise, give me a call right now. I'm opening phone lines. You can tell me, if it is not about bitterness, tell me, why is the family, what is the justification for Edgar Lungu's family to bury him in South Africa? Don't tell me that's what the family wants. Why? You have the phone number. You can start calling now. You have my phone. You have the phone number that you call. You can call in now and tell me what is the justification for burying Edgar Chagwa in South Africa. Don't tell that's what the family wants. Tell me the reason which we should all agree. If you give me a good reason, I'm telling you now, so I can change. If you give me a good reason why Edgar Lungu should be buried there, if you give me a good reason, I can assure you, even right now, I can change. Hello?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes. I've heard your broadcast, and I want to contribute one or two things.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we are confusing things in the funeral of Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
Okay.
What we should realize is that there are 3 or 4 prayer. Sorry, my name is Howard Mlenga, coming from the UK, Leicester.
Okay.
Yeah, what we should realize that there are 3 stakeholders in Edgar Chagwa Lungu. The first stakeholder is the family, which is the owner of the body. The second is government and us citizens. The third is the political party, in this case PF and Tonse. So in these of these 3 stakeholders, the most affected of all is the family.
Yes.
And then and the government and other stakeholders, we are secondary. The most affected is the family, and they are the ones who suffered with Edgar Chagwa Lungu. They are the ones who were closer to him. We can't claim that you and me were very close to Edgar than the family, the wife and the children.
Sorry, hold on, sir. Hold on. I want us to be logical. The question that I'm asking here, the so-called family, I'm saying the so-called family, wants Edgar Lungu to be buried in South Africa. My question to you, what is the justification for that family who is, who are the people who are bothered? What is the justification for burying Edgar Chagwa Lungu in South Africa?
Yes, so that's where I was coming to. When the family who were with Edgar Lungu, who suffered with Edgar Lungu, they were on the bedside of Edgar Lungu. They saw how the sufferings, and obviously Edgar Lungu and the family were discussing things that they know. We don't know, you and me don't know, but the family, the closest, know what they were discussing. So the justification
Sir, according to you, tell me what you have understood from whatever has been said. A lot has been said. From what you have heard, can you tell me to say the justification for them to insist to bury Edgar Lungu in South Africa is this? Please go to that point.
Well, that's where I was coming. No. So the justification. Let me shorten it. The justification is that Edgar Lungu the current government, they were not in good books. Okay, so he left his wish. Let him wish the wish. But few people who start with Edgar Lungu know that that's what he said.
Okay. So Edgar Lungu said, I don't want to be buried in Zambia because I had no good relationship with Hakainde Hichilema. Is that what you are saying?
No. I'm saying that Edgar Lungu, the wish which he left was that the head of state at the moment should not be near the body. The head of state shouldn't be there.
And that's what I'm saying. Isn't that bitterness? Isn't that hatred?
No, it is. It's not hatred, but it's not hatred in the sense that.
But it's bitterness. Isn't it bitterness? When I say, isn't that bitterness?
Let me give you an example.
Isn't that bitterness?
Let me give you an example. Okay.
Let's see. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello. Tayari mulitani?
Ndife bwino mayo mulishani naimwe.
Well, they don't force to watch your live. Usually I don't even watch your live, but today I'm forced to watch your live, so I can also contribute. And it's been a long time since I got your program.
So that the country can hear you, can know you. I know the country. You would want the country to know you.
No, the country knows me. I mean, I was on TV yesterday. So let's not go that far.
No, no, just for the benefit of what to say. Introduce yourself.
Listen.
Introduce yourself.
Listen.
Or you don't want to introduce yourself. Say I don't want to introduce myself.
I think the people know me. Okay, this is Chair, the voice of Zambia.
Exactly. Yeah. Go ahead now. Let the people know you. Go ahead, my dear. Hey. London mayo. Hey, not to Milanda Posana, but London. Hey, Hipopolene. I will even give you time. Hey, how London mayo, Nalami Perenjita, Londoni, Tumfwe. Hey.
Again, Tumfwe, I've actually said today I'm going to call your program. Yeah, so first of all, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
There's a time when you were doing my live videos, and you were the one who told us, actually, I didn't even know it. You said something to say, the moment you join UPNP, the first task that they are going to give you is to attack Betrayal.
Yes. Yes.
So now I see by UPND, including UPN Director Max Bowen, sharing your podcast and then the coverage. So I also want to remind you that at the time when Edgar Lungu, he had not come back into active politics, you, Tayali, at some point, you were used to actually file in some papers to say Edgar Lungu should be stripped of his benefits. You remember that?
It wasn't, okay, wait a minute.
You went to court.
Okay, so listen.
You went to court and you accused Edgar Chagwalungu of whatever he was doing, that he was actually doing politics. He was politicking. And there's a record, Tayali. Okay. You filed in at court that the government of the Republic of Zambia, Edgar Chagwalungu's benefit because he was politicking. You remember that? Okay,
so just a clarification. I do remember that.
I just want you to... no, don't clarify anything. I just want you to say, yes, I remember.
Monenimayo. Let's see.
You said you're going to give me...
Yes, but Kylie...
time, and it's your platform, and you're going to speak afterwards. I just want you to say, I remember.
But a clarification is, it was not before Edgar Lungu came into politics. It was when I went back. It was after. It was after. I had even started.
No. You cannot file in after when somebody is not in active politics. You actually filed in when he was jogging, going to church. You filed in to say whatever Edgar Lungu is doing is politicking. Therefore, government must strip off his benefit. You did that, it's on record. Edgar Chagwalungu came back into active politics on the 20th of October 2023. At the time, Mao Sampa.
Beverly, if a good engagement, we need to listen to each other. A good engagement, it's good to listen to each other. So, I'm the one that went to court. Actually, I joined Isaac Mwanza. Isaac Mwanza is the one that started.
Isaac Mwanza, who was filed in a petition against the constitutional court ruling. That's the guy you joined.
Yes, I joined him. But now, let me just, the sequence of things. By that time, I had actually started the Alebwe Rapo agenda, including yourself. We were doing the Alebwe Rapo agenda. But myself, I became overwhelmed with cases, and I didn't have enough help. And that is when I went to UPND. mukupapa tokoa tibanjelele. And one of the things that they brought to me is to join Isaac Mwanza on that case. And this is where I was saying that one of the things that when you join UPND, the first thing that they give you is to attack Edgar Chagwa. And that is one of those things. So you were right when you said that. And that is one of the things. But this came after I was overwhelmed with cases because of the Alebwe agenda. That is a clarification, my dear.
Right, so I get you. So it came after you get overwhelmed.
Exactly.
So you betrayed at the slightest, no, in a conversation. At the slightest opportunity that you got the overwhelming, you decided to betray Edgar Chagwa and joined UPND and started petitioning that his benefits should be removed. Let's just put that on record.
Okay, fine.
Now,
go ahead.
Yes. So now, going forward, you have to understand that it's not the Patriotic Front that we're pushing Edgar Chagwa to come back into active politics. It is on record. Edgar Chagwa himself, with the Voice of Africa, Voice of America, he did an interview and he said, I came back into active politics because I had no choice. My children were being persecuted. My wife was being persecuted. They've decided to kill me like an enemy. It is on record. The videos are there, well documented.
True.
So when you start accusing people that people were pushing Edgar Lungu to come into active politics, that is a very wrong narrative that you're trying to propagate.
So
Edgar Chagwa Lungu came back into active politics on the 28th of October 2023. At the time, Mao Samba, on the 24th of October 2023, took over Patriotic Front at the help of the government. The government gave Mao Samba total security, machinery, and they did a convention, an illegal convention, and that's what prompted Edgar Chagwa Lungu, apart from the fact that his children and their wife were being persecuted by the UPND administration. So let's take the facts. Let's not accuse people to say these are the reasons because very popular and things like that. Even you, Tayaj, what you're doing today, it is because UPND administration right now, they are running out of people to speak on their behalf. So they're using people like you, people like Siawan, to speak on behalf of Hakainde Hichilema. Now listen, you said something about Hakainde Hichilema to say, if Hakainde Hichilema was bad because he's got his story to tell, nobody's stopping Hakainde Hichilema to tell his story, how he was arrested or whatsoever. Let Edgar Lungu tell his story through the people that really care for him. If Hakainde tells the story, let him tell his story of how he was arrested. Nobody's stopping him. Nobody's going to stand in his way. But let's also be realistic and factual.
Wait a minute. Beverly, wait a minute. I want us to follow point by point. I'm grateful that you called. Really. Yeah. And I want people to benefit out of this. You have got followers. And I'm sure they are happy that you have called in. So, let's follow issues step by step. So you said that Edgar Lungu came back into politics in October 2023. That's what you have said.
Yes. And on the 28th on Saturday Memorial. Yes.
So now, from my point of view, this is the story that I lived, not a story that I hate. I used to go and sit with Edgar Lungu. I'm the one that went to Edgar Lungu. And I went to Edgar to ask him to come back into politics. I went to him in April 2022. April 2022. In April 2022, when I went to him, Edgar Lungu refused to say, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I've done my part. And our meeting continued for some time. I went there a number of times. And that is when I said, okay, fine. So if you don't want, what should we do? Somebody must take over PF. And this is where the Mundubile issue came in. I'm sure you remember very well that I was campaigning for Brian Mundubile. And Brian Mundubile, when I started campaigning for Brian Mundubile, I had to make sure that I had it correct with Edgar Lungu. And Edgar Lungu gave me a go-ahead. However, later on, towards the end of 2022, towards the end of 2022, these issues started coming up. And these issues, my sister, I am not lying. I've got no interest to lie. These issues, we were discussing them in the house. In the house. And I can tell you, I don't want to mention to say, this one said this one said this, but I can tell you that these discussions were happening in the house. And one of the issues, one of the persons that I can remember, that I can bring is Bawinta Kavimba. Bawinta Kavimba used to sit with us when we were discussing this issue now of coming back into active politics. So it is not that time when you are talking about in October. No, it is late 2022 when we started now campaigning for Alebwele Rapo. And we started Alebwele Rapo with the consent of Edgar Lungu. I couldn't have gone to say Alebwele Rapo when he didn't give me the consent. He gave me the consent. So,
now,
listen, my dear.
I know what
so
listen. At the time of Alebwele Rapo, I think this is, I think we need this conversation because you and I, we all got, people watching. By UPND are watching, Akainde HMI is watching, everybody else is watching us. So I think let's give each other time. So remember, you and I started Alebwele Rapo. Let's put it that way.
When did we start?
Are the people when did we start
Alebwele Rapo? Right? When did we start Alebwele Rapo? When?
That was for me. I started way back, even before the song started of Alebwele Rapo. I started saying Edgar Lungu should come back. So now, wait, you abandoned Alebwele Rapo. Remember?
Yes.
And people started saying, now that Tayari has abandoned Alebwele Rapo, we are going to see if this girl is going to continue. And I remained singing that song. That is when you went to UPND, like you have said, to say you got overwhelmed because Malu was not helping you with money, isn't it?
With cases, yes.
Yes, and you got overwhelmed, isn't it?
Yes.
So when you were doing Alebwele, that you wanted to get something out of in return. And then when you couldn't get something in return, you had to drop it.
Beverly.
Let me finish. I gave you time to finish. Let me talk. Don't interrupt me.
No, Beverly. Let me finish. No, but Beverly. Beverly. The question that we have is that the question that we have is that whatever we were doing, was Edgar Lungu aware of this issue of Alebwele Rapo? Was he aware or he was not?
No, he was aware. He could watch. He could watch.
So did Edgar Lungu?
So he was aware.
Wait a minute.
But I can assure you that Edgar Lungu did not send people. Did not send people to campaign for it. Because me, that one DK.
So you,
Edgar Lungu did not
so listen.
Edgar Lungu go on the platform and start talking on my behalf.
For you, he didn't send you. But for me, he did. For me, he did.
I expected something in return because he sent you, right?
No, we are not talking about when did Edgar Lungu start participating?
Why Alebwele Rapo, and why did you file in a court, a thing of Edgar Lungu being stripped?
My dear, we have to be very logical here. What we are trying to establish.
I'm just asking questions. I want to understand it.
Okay, I will respond.
Timeline.
I will respond.
That timeline. What happened? Why did you have Rapo?
That's the question. Okay.
And why did you file in a court that Edgar Lungu's benefits should be stripped?
So let me answer. So, first of all, what we are trying to establish is when did Edgar Lungu start in politics? And from my point of view, you said he came back into politics in October 2023. And my argument is that no, he started much earlier. What is the evidence to that? I have told you myself. I was actually encouraged to do that. And even when you were doing that, Edgar Lungu did not come out to say, no, me, I've retired from politics. He let it go because it was fitting in his agenda. Now, why did you abandon Alebwele Rapo? Why did you abandon Alebwele Rapo? I abandoned Alebwele Rapo because I was overwhelmed with cases. I was overwhelmed with cases and I didn't get help. And overwhelmed with cases, it doesn't mean that I wanted him to give him money. No, is to help me with the cases because the Alebwele agenda brought these issues of me being in court. So I abandoned it. And because I had cases, I went to plead with UPND. So that vandekereko na papa tanalebe bat na leka Alebwele rapo. Ndekereniko, I am a cases mwankwika. Please free me. The UPND did not free me. So, why did I go to court? Because this is one of the issues that came up. Somebody told me, you know that Edgar Lungu is doing politics because you are one of those people that used to talk to him. You know. So join Isaac Mwanza. And that's how I joined in Isaac Mwanza. I think I've answered you. Hello? Are you there?
Yes, no, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yes,
I'm listening.
I've answered you. I've explained clearly.
All right. So we have established that because we are talking of, let's go forward now. We're talking of Edgar Lungu dying and his benefits being stripped. You are one of the culprits that enabled the benefits of Edgar Chagwa Lungu to be stripped. So let's put that on record as well.
Okay.
Now let's talk of what is happening. Let's talk of what is happening now. Okay.
I want the justification.
So now your argument
from
now.
You, I want your justification.
Your argument now is that Hakainde Hichilema has been very reasonable, such that if he wanted, he wouldn't do a state funeral or what.
Yes, he would have been talking.
If he wanted to make Lungu, he couldn't have at the time before he came back into active politics. He wouldn't have given the benefits. But you have to understand that the benefits that were due to President Edgar Lungu were constitutional because of the service that he did for this country. It is not up to Hakainde Hichilema to decide whether he should or should not give the benefits to Edgar Lungu. And as the Constitution say that when he returned into active politics, those benefits were stripped off. So let's make it clear. It is not that Hakainde Hichilema or Edgar Lungu a favor. Edgar Lungu worked for those benefits.
And what does
so it is not something that Hakainde Hichilema should decide to say, if I wanted, if I'm going to be bad, Edgar Lungu, I could have not given him his benefits.
Okay, no. so Beverly, what does...
then let's talk about...
wait. What does the Constitution say? What does the Constitution say when a former president is still active in politics? What does the Constitution say? What does it say?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing to say that the benefit taken because Edgar Lungu returned into active politics and he was aware that his benefits are going to be taken.
Thank you.
Okay.
So,
but then.
So, go ahead.
So, now your argument, I just wanted to put it on record that it wasn't up to Hakainde Hichilema to give Edgar Lungu benefits. As the Constitution was entitled.
No one has said that. No one has said that. No,
you said it. You said if he wanted, if he was bad and things like that. You said it. I was either on your life.
Okay, so
now
listen.
You're talking of the South African government.
Listen. I said, Hakainde Hichilema reasonable. I said when Edgar Lungu died, he would have said, I am not going to give this man a state funeral because of how he treated me when I was in opposition. That's what I said. Not about the benefits. It is after he died, Edgar Lungu would have, or Hakainde Hichilema, would have decided to start telling the bitter story of what he experienced when he was in opposition, when Edgar Lungu was a president. But Hakainde Hichilema decided not to go that route because this is a bereavement. And he has said, let's give him a state funeral. So he's being reasonable.
Okay, so
in that
give
sense.
Me a chance now to talk about the funeral and South Africa. Right, so he said that, and to be honest with you, the will that Edgar Lungu wrote was that Hakainde Hichilema should not preside over his funeral. Okay, now you mentioned something about South Africans saying no, more like South Africa go now let me people and things like that. That is not true because what is happening in South Africa is that the laws in South Africa apply. It is not up to Cyril Ramaphosa or Hakainde Hichilema to say, oh, go and bury in South Africa. No. According to the Constitution of South Africa, anybody who dies in South Africa, their family have got the right to decide whether that body is repatriated to their respective country or to be buried in South Africa. That is law in South Africa. Let's not bend the law. So there's no one that's saying, oh, they've chucked you diplomatically. You even saw Aula Mora when he came to see Hakainde Hichilema.
So just on that one.
To say, see that view that President Lungu should be buried in Zambia. Okay?
What does that mean?
At the same time, the laws of South Africa, family, the right to decide where the president should be buried.
Chair. I mean, when somebody said our considered view is that Edgar Lungu should be buried in Zambia, what does it mean? Are they saying they want him in South Africa or they want him in Zambia? What are they saying?
Then they are saying, as a president of the former president, their view is that this issue should be sorted out amicably, and for their view
where does South Africa want South Africa want Edgar Lungu to be buried?
Let me speak.
Wait.
Give me the chance to speak.
Where does South Africa?
Everything.
No. Answer this one.
You are stopping me from speaking.
No. You will speak. I will give you. But I just want us to be, according to the South African government, where do they want Edgar Lungu to be buried?
They don't mind anywhere to be buried.
No. Our considered view is
they
that
don't mind anywhere. No, you saying that it is our considered view. It is actually them just saying, in terms of diplomacy, this is what our view is. But what is that view?
What is that view? Before we go to the law, where do they want Edgar Lungu to be buried?
The South African government will respect the decision of the family.
Before the law.
Here where we are today, if Hakainde Hichilema had excused himself, we wouldn't be here today. What is it that you are missing? What is it with the body of Edgar Chagwa that Hakainde Hichilema cannot excuse himself? I think let's answer the most difficult questions here. What is it that is with the body of Edgar Chagwa that President Hakainde Hichilema has refused and has failed to excuse himself? Because all this impasse that is happening right now, it has been caused by one Hakainde Hichilema. If Hakainde Hichilema could excuse himself by today, by tomorrow, the body will be in Zambia and will be buried.
Okay, so Beverly, I want to, before I let you go, I want to ask you a question. You and I don't think we are, we drink from the same cup. Would it be right if I die and I say, I don't want Beverly to come to my funeral? Would that be good when you look at our Christian values? Would that be right? Would that be right?
I would also answer this. What is so Christian about that now you're considering Christianity about stopping somebody from accessing medical care?
No,
what's so Christian about that?
No, there is nothing Christian. My issue.
Yes.
You haven't answered my issue.
Listen.
You haven't answered my issue.
Listen. If I said I don't want Tayali to be anywhere near my funeral, first of all, that has nothing to do with Christianity. Second of all, that is my wish. And I only know the reason why I don't want Tayali to my funeral.
Okay. Fair enough.
And that should be respected.
So
let's not go about...
So that's the justification, eh? It's justified that Edgar Lungu, because Hakainde Hichilema is the head of state, he has to be there. Since he has refused to excuse himself, then Edgar Lungu should be buried in South Africa. Though that is a justification, isn't it?
Yes.
For me,
according
to me, that is bitterness.
As long as Hakainde Hichilema has not excused himself, Edgar Lungu must be buried in South Africa.
According to
because Hakainde Hichilema does not want to respect the wishes of Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
Okay.
First of all, we need to establish that Hakainde Hichilema and President Edgar Lungu were never friends. They can never be friends. And right now is not where we can start talking about our Christian values. Entirely you have seen how the insults that are being done towards the former head of state's impasse. So what is Christian about what is happening on Koswe Media? What is Christian about what you are doing, publishing is death certificates? So let's also consider that. How is the family feeling? You are attacking a grieving family, a bereaved family. How is that Christianity? Because even the Bible says we have to show love to the people that are grieving. But is this how you show love to the family of Edgar Chagwa Lungu? Is this how Hakainde Hichilema and the UPN decide to show love to them?
Are they grieving? Because I'm wondering if really they are grieving. Because if they were grieving, I don't think
so now you determine how they should and should not grieve. The family of Edgar Chagwa Lungu entirely has to determine how they should grieve.
From my point of view,
this is a widow that is standing in court and trying to defend her husband's court, and you're asking, are they grieving?
Okay, so my sister,
what is so Christian about what he did?
Okay.
When he made the widow stand in court, what is Christian about that?
Okay, so Chair, I think we have agreed on something. To you, it is justified for them to dwell on what Hakainde Hichilema did to Edgar Lungu. It is justified. For me, I'm saying it is not
they're
justified.
not dwelling on it. They are respecting the wishes of Edgar Chagwa Lungu before it. It is very justified that the family protects and respects the wishes of Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
From my point of view, my sister, it is not justified because I consider it bitterness and hatred. That is from my point of view. You have a different view.
You might call it bitterness and hatred, but I call it as keeping a promise to the deceased.
Thank you very much. Can I pick another thing?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I
Thank you, my
appreciate it.
dear. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please.
I just wanted to ask a question because I've been hearing with the lady that called. And what you said, to say that the president, if he wanted, he would have said, I would not give the former president the state funeral because he was bad to me. So does that mean that the former president is not entitled to a funeral, to the state funeral, by that Zambian law?
Okay, so very good question. Let me clarify that. So, according to our laws, a former head of state, when he dies, it is not prescribed that there should be a state funeral. No, it is not anywhere in the laws. What is prescribed in the law is that government should cater for his funeral. Okay? Now, catering for his funeral does not necessarily mean a state funeral. A state funeral is at the discretion of the president. And a state funeral, the president can give to anyone who he thinks that he has contributed significantly to the country. So he can give anyone, even yourself. If the president thinks that you have done a lot for Zambia, he can give you a state funeral. But at the same time, he can refuse. So similarly to Edgar Lungu, Hakainde Hichilema, if he was bitter, he wouldn't have declared a state funeral because it is in his discretion. I hope I've answered.
Yeah, you've answered that question, but also now it leads to another question. Because what the state said in South Africa is that they put that court whatever to say that due to public interest, they need for South Africa to compel the family to bring the body so that they can give the former president the state funeral.
Can I give you? Can I give?
So there is no base, isn't it?
Can I come in?
If it's not prescribed and it's just at their discretion, then there is no base, since it's not law.
Okay, so here is a clarification. The government has not gone to the South African court to say it is in the law. No, they haven't said that. What they have spoken about is public interest, and they have used a precedence in the case of Bakaunda. In the case of Bakaunda, Bakaunda wanted to be buried next to his wife at his farm. And the family, particularly Kawechibanda, insisted that his father should be buried next to the wife. But he went to court. He actually sued because government said no, he should be buried at Embassy Park. So he went to court, and the court ruling said that public interest than the personal and the family wishes. So that is the law, if you like, because when a court makes a ruling, it becomes a law. It is called precedence. It is called case law. So that is the case that they have brought to the South African court. They have not said we are giving, it is part of the laws to give a state funeral. No, they haven't said that. But they have quoted a situation of Bakaunda. That is what they have quoted.
Okay. I just wanted to understand more, because I'm seeing all these things that in the end, for me, it is according to my interest as a Zambian for the former president to be buried in Zambia, yes. But not Pamaka, that will take the body no matter what and bury it in Zambia.
No, my sister.
We want it to be done in unity.
My sister.
Love.
My sister.
With the consent of the family.
Exactly. And this is what government has been doing. This is what government has been doing.
Yeah.
There is a narrative that government wants to do this Pamaka. From my point of view, has been following this case, I haven't seen anywhere where government has used force. No. Government has not used force at any point. Even going to court, they only went to court because if they had not gone to court, by now they would have buried. They went to court so that maybe they can continue engaging and reach a solution. Government is not putting it by force. Haka Indechilem actually said it. He said it is not about power. No. It is about agreeing with the family. I think government has been very clear on that.
Yes, but agreeing with the family means that he also agrees that the former president's wish was that he be not next to anywhere next or to the body or the funeral.
Okay, thank you, my sister. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Atari.
Emkwan.
Mulishani wakarama.
Buena femkwan.
Atari nenkotefeka kwese na kepi.
Ipushe mkwan.
So, pushe. Iwish wa Edgar Ungwarianda tewa shide. Is it preaching love and reconciliation or preaching bitterness? So number. Before tawala Africa abantu na bekala chaba. In a question. So, umuntu anishiro muti. Ukwabati, reconcile, love each other. Then any last wish yakwe. Is not preaching a conciliation. So should we continuously observe October nango hours? A question and
Yo, abantu
kubona charo na ikakubiri.
Emkwai na totera. Nalaika abantu basuke. Hello?
Mr. President, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. This is Eric.
Yes.
Yes, I want to take up my contribution and also look at that chair lady who called. I think she's not trying way. What we are talking about is a former president who has died and who needs to be buried with the dignity and honor that he deserves that level of office he held in the country of Zambia. See? Now, what I want to take on is that language that is coming out of that child, it does not unite in any way. I want to take it this position. Madam Edith Nawak, how critical she was about President HH. That lady was very, very critical. And then later on, you saw the arrest that came about that followed her, where she was always arrested, was taken here and there. But in the death, there was that unity with the family. The family would have decided that they don't want President HH because he kept on arresting her, putting her behind bars and that kind of stuff. No, but that wasn't the case. What they wanted was unity to people. The state took over that funeral until up to the burial point. The president was the president for that funeral at the cathedral. Chief Mubanda spoke, and he spoke right in front of the president about the unity, about the cases that Edith Nawak went through, how the police were on her up to the hospital bed where in New TH. You saw that unity that all people should always advocate for. Now, Edgar Lungu is gone. Whatever people are going to say, no, HH is the head of state. Imagine that there are presidents that are invited to the funeral of Edgar Lungu. They come. Who is going to host the president? It is who? It is the President HH. You think HH is going to sit at the community house or state house once the funeral is going on in a showground or at the Hero Stadium, and it will be when they are visiting heads of state in the country, other presidents from other countries, the host president is seated in the state house watching on TV. How normal is that? Do people even think? Do they even think? Do they even reason? Why are we inducing our office of president to a mayor? That funeral is not a funeral like Chiboria or Kanyama or anywhere. That is a national funeral.
Thank you, my brother.
Sometimes, yes, people must be able to think. Then one other point, just before I go. When that time when Mao Sampa took over the president, I know she spoke about it. When Mao Sampa took over the president, it was because they were made to pay those 250 hours as the whatever nomination fees for those that wanted to participate in the selection of the president of the PA. Now to say, to repeat and drama, there's nothing that is happening, and these people might even do a first one. Why is it that it is taking too long for us to choose this one to read? And we see kept, very quiet over that issue, even after fees were paid. So that confusion within the PF is something that has been made up by themselves and is at the center of everything.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tari.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's what we start. Hello?
Why chungu mkwe?
I'm quiet.
Mwana chote. So ulia mkashana chea muse pela so taimona tako tena picture uko mwifili kuntanshi koze lecho arifo ya kufilira musenga which it won't help anyone. No manga na ngatwashita insist ati tushike barungu ku South Africa. Ishita ya memula bashani. Bagala kwatashani memorio. Nangu next year bakubukusha barungu chika bashani. Take confusion then futi chimbelo jimechinga tuwafako bali abakwata ko umuntu, let's say ku Ghana or country where they are president buried in another country. What fraud next? What made them to ensure that even after so many years they requested for that for those remains to be repatriated back into the country? Robert Mugabe Mumwabo, the family insisted to bury him somewhere else, but later on they had to ensure that let's bring him to where he's supposed to be. So what made them to do that? You can make a decision now, and then what will follow funeral, how are you going to handle that? So maybe if they were to find out from the people that are through that, maybe it will open their eyes. Because today maybe our thinking is no.
My brother,
but what's the point?
My brother, according to these people that are propagating for this,
Yes.
they are looking at this as a political opportunity, okay, where they will now come to the people and start campaigning to say, vote for us so that we can bring the body of Edgar Lungu back in Zambia. And they will be saying, Hakainde Hichilema is very bad. That's why Edgar Lungu is buried. So they want to make a political fortune out of this. Unfortunately, that is the issue. And this is why I am saying that it is political. And this is why I'm even speaking strongly against certain individuals.
So, like, if they want to play it that way, so they can't accept, like, now what is happening. Because we can easily tell that people are not on their side. Because if they were on their side, they would have risen against the church to say, no, why are you stopping? Can you? Because even that they made to say it shouldn't see or part of the funeral. People would have risen and said, no, you should not be part of the funeral. But no one is that. No one is saying that. So that I don't think that will work. They need to think twice.
Anyway.
That's what I wanted to say. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, I just want to contribute because of the issues happening in our country. Yes. I think you people themselves saying this. Vali sai kasama nyangeka relationship yana Edgar Lungu. These are too open to speak bad about Edgar Lungu, including our president. Our president was not diplomatic the way he was attacking Edgar Lungu. And today, just because he has died, and they want to tend to be angels, that's why people are saying, they can't let him be buried that side. Because even me, I can't allow someone who to say, I will do something against you, I'll do something against you. Or as our family wanga. Then our family are then someone says, no, I want to take part. Definitely we'll take them as witches who cannot be present, You understand? So, PND very sawanya very kafie muri relationship ya Edgar, and they should just let the family do exactly what they want, whether it was the wish of the Edgar Lungu or it was just the plan of the family looking at how Lungu was treated. So let them.
Thank you.
That's it, sir.
Thank you. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Yeah. A good topic, and I want to speak about 3 things. That is the government. I'll be very quick. The government, South Africa. See, if you look at government, it is playing so smart. What they're doing is they're kind of exhausting all the avenues so that Kuntanshi, nobody that you didn't. Okay? They're trying, it's not that they're forcing Lungu to be fine. Baba ballot South Africa. Baba ballot Zambia to the bonus. Yeah, so they're just very careful with what they're doing. Okay? Yeah. So government of South Africa, it is clearly that they're just massive. What they're saying is he's better off in Zambia, but they just don't want to come out. This is what it is. But in then I think if he was buried in Zambia, it would be a bonus for them. But if they are okay. Now they know about people South Africa. For Mama Esther. What I can tell her is the Sivalungu was just a house. That man was the family there. If I were Mama Esther, I would go, actually, if I were to take the body to Zambia, UPND would declare themselves if they touched Mama Esther after.
You know?
Yes.
Hey.
UPND would decampaign because all of us would be like, no, hold on a minute. That's what they would have done. UPND, I'm sure, after burial, that's why the president was saying, let's bury come later. He's a human, knows what he's doing. They would have definitely campaigned themselves after Balungu. That would be very unfair. So people are just being very careful with what they are doing. Like Mama Esther buried, and then I just say, you know what? My husband wants to do to people want her. That is really a shame, honestly. Keeping a body like that.
No.
Everybody would want you. Muntu bashika, ena mwate. Ishi ashala mwalanshanya. We know what is going on.
No.
So that's what I wanted to say anyway. I don't have much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello? 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 Fine, thank you.
How is Kia?
Please go ahead and.
I think people know what a president to think that if H wanted of Edgar Lungu, he was not going to make any other plan to make sure he see that body. Hello?
Yes, we are hearing you. Please go ahead.
Yes. If whoever H wants to see this body, he can see it without anyone knowing that he has seen it. It's as easy as all that. Here is just a game of my brother. It's just a game of politics. By all means, in the other way, they are decampaigning themselves because pride is not on the side. You see, at the other side again, there's the elections. They come back and say they stopped the burial and put our housing off.
Okay. That was that. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Ted. Am I?
Yes, you are live.
Yeah, just a quick one. I just want to...
But it's like you are driving, so the line is cutting. Maybe if you stop, it would help.
Then just let me give it a try because I can't stop where I am.
Okay, please go ahead. Let's see.
Just a quick one. The lady who was talking about that Balungu came out on his own back into politics. What she doesn't know is that before you went to that interview, people forced him that if you get back into active politics. So she was missing that. The only thing she thought happened is when Lungu came that interview, there was things going on behind for the interview. Hello, am I there?
Yes.
And the other thing about this barring of ECL in South Africa, they are only seeing or interested in them guys who are keeping the vote, which is now. But what is, they are erasing ECL from East, because 20 years, 50 years from India won't even be remembered at the embassy park, no? Because whoever will be coming to view former presidents, grave there, so they are erasing him from history. They need to think about those terms for future reasons. For now.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
That's what I wanted to say. All right.
Hello? Where?
Okay, I have a question. If the former president goes back in politics, at what point benefits food?
If he resigns again. If he resigns again. If he resigns again, so, or in this case, if he dies. If he resigns again, he dies. Yeah.
So that resign awela nangu 6 months the active politics to chile batete dafini. Okay. Okay, na totela. Then chimbine batale tunachukua kulanda pochata kwa bati. Mwasha Mozambique ta pretend sana. First thing, we can't reconcile when we haven't identified. First thing, we identify the problem, then that's when reconciliation comes in. Then mwamona like if it's take pali wa Edgar Lungu. Na mama families fila fitika. Tamwasa ngwapo ati watano kushika tawali pile iwe. Tamori pile. So we stop pretending and face reality. So ape feel filo kuchitika batayari. Na ngwifia lingide kuchitika. Tawali lingide kuya kumakoti. Government they could have seen where they can help. Family ngayakana kuti baikala nalitamba wakawe chikaunda the other day. Wakawa was saying judgment yaishire isanishi balishikana kale. Why are we saying lelo that ilia judgment yabakaunda ali setting up presidents when judgment came after? A question that's quite time.
Okay, so let me just respond. Let me just respond.
Okay.
Part of your issue
okay.
At setting a precedence. It is true what you have said that it came afterwards, but the judgment when they say set a precedence, because it means that what will come later on will be looked at according to that judgment. So that's what they mean by precedence. So yes, Makaunda was already buried by the time the judgment was coming, but it meant that other instances where there is an impasse between the family and the government, what will follow is what is in the judgment. That's what they mean when they say precedence. Mwangu for win a win.
Yes. So because I heard him say we just compromised with the government.
Yes, but
so
later on, judgment yarisa fuma. Judgment came out. So now we are not talking about really wakaunda. We are talking about what the judgment said. What the judgment said, and what the judgment said is that public interest, is bigger than the individual or family wishes. That's what it means. So precedency, kwewati ukufumalelo. If you are so, if konka ni fine mwaona president ukufuma lero nga pacifique fiaso nga kwaba ukutalikana family na government pakushika kwa president efe tufuiro okulola bati awe public interest kufaya kwa abantu kwa chalo chonse kwa chinda mapo ukuchira ama wishes uyo ufuile na ngula family efwaya efo bamini ya president kwa bati ufulelo efo twakula konka nifi enkwa
nomba kairi chindi batali echo nalanda kwe chalasi chakwe bati na government besu ichi baletere problem iti benchmark yabo ni PF was voted out of power, so PF was minimum point be benchmark yabantu abali mu power. They need to do that, not to kula stuff government like mama nifia kumfungo. These are the problems if like causing if to record. So we can do better as a country, but
sure, abona na sumina.
Mwayumva ka?
Awe mwalanga fishing.
Mwalanga imo batali na kalamba bandi. Na miromba ko chimo. Mama ne finirelo ndamulela stop being emotional and personal attack pabantu like fidamule chitapabena makebi na bashali, because these are the same issues ya military kubutuka mu country mwaleba too personal na bena HH. So that one na musambiri leko talk about issues, stop talking about individuals on with emotion.
Apo nalawa kwati tekuiba. I don't talk persons. I talk issues. When I say Makebi Zulu failed in his constituency, it's not personal. It's a fact. It's a fact. But you are right. Sometimes in the petiria kona ile ndi muntu fechachi ne muna mberera kutotera.
I also today no.
No.
Congratulations, engagement. Mwachumfa wache abalanda abevali bawe nishe yakisha waka kumona akucha pakwesho. So nobana inende pusha bata wa tudio sala kuka woten ndana wa position tala lendezo pusha kumana ni fish ekyo sa umufisa ifeta mulefa kumoni akaide mwana kama suka wala fanya hapo ni yasu muta kupushishe ko na bena ifyo ba sa bata wa kwalira echo enafa kumona bagara Numa barungu bashikire kurya kaunda umukobe ari muna baba wabantu nangula mu politics bushe ni bonsha bakopesha uko iriya gonkana na byo musakotana na party mu for example that are and then the whole group in from PF umbiri ndikutyafa ndi urete kanira uyo position wa so it's possible. No matter I want to be the some people some politics I want to get to yeah. When I want to achieve mawos na kusema ba indigalu papo msikuto was one time of photos paisa politics was at the bed. Look at this. Rumba na body. Bye benati. What does that mean? Lejo wa echi bale panda ngama body. Ngama rumba ishe trend dunia sio. Pamoja na ile pekee kuli agenda ya ngama body. I don't understand this. Because everyone who wants, and I said to myself, the budget must protect it, and then to the other side. Then, ready for that. He came here. What am I about? I have a long mentor in Mustafa. Don't take my point. So forth. This is what let us try together. But info, but I can't never put number info. Number one for politics and a president Natasha.
Natotera sana. You know, he has made very good points there. Hello? 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 Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, President Daddy.
Yes, sir.
I've managed to through with your line. I've been trying for quite a while. In fact, I've been trying for a few days. But it's good I'm able to speak on your program. My contribution will be very short, President Ali. Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Ni monaka ka program kama chanda tawe President like from the heading, I've seen President H say this. I think it's something like it's not about winning and losing. I think as a Zambian, I understand info yaba lungu yalichitika endi umina Zambia also aba genuine would love balungu baisalala muchalo icho babombera muchalo chabo bonze fyo tuisha like ifwe kumwezeko tuwafuma kula batawe nkalalo ko bashiko mtoto that is not to always say ineko nafuma kumwe so would love balungu baisa lala wabo iko bashikire okutekere chalo basungira amazambians and all that but for as Zambians tufire tu aba genuine nefire chitika muchalo and in as much as particular na Brema family but also the government nabena should take responsibility including bakateka bale take because when you ngamwaisa bika vya public interest ni feel my brother when you are yourself you are not in the country so I have to give a very close example for example uli tauli muchalo like uli ero nombasa no papo iko bachucha tayari babe kuno sometimes tunadokesha pa the most important people in your life and that is the family especially in Ghana then ngoli mutu like for example lunga bali abatundulu lesa yumba lungu tabafuire then government say no lunga fuire kuno aba kuno I'm getting that feedback when
please just go ahead and please get to the point mule shinguluka sana. Hello.
Awe she shinguluka no kushinguluka basa let me because I'm using you as an example. Like for like when I was trying to give you as an example, like you know you are not in the country. Like for kwaisa abati baisa randa tono public interest if I got Rufya tayari ese kuno. Tiretempo imomuli abatundu balungu na.
Let me ask
Nangu
you.
twaisa kushinda balungu bade abatundu baisi gapo nkire bafwa balungu
Sorry.
But
hello. Let's
yes, I'm hearing. I can hear you.
Let's get to the point. Your point is that government. Now, my question is insisting to say no, is it uniting the country? Isn't that bitterness?
I think after Balungu Bafmamu take my brother, Ukubafia in a bitterness. And the abantu bonse in a I would love abantu bonse bitterness is sometimes it's normal. Fear and fear abandamo. These are people who have passed through a lot. So
Balungu bafire bana manda yabo.
Balungu Eshobaya, my brother, we don't know. Maybe was died a very bitter man. But family.
The question is it okay to perpetuate bitterness? Is it okay? That is the question. Is it okay? Is it justified? If you think it is okay, fine. I mean, that's okay. That is a
no, President, I with all due respect, because I'm somebody who respects you, I don't look at you like somebody like, but
I mean, let's be focused. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, President Tayali. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, President Tayali. I'm Bruce calling from Rosa.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. I think let's look at this issue from this point of view. When we lost President Madagascar, that point, when MMG power, and there was nothing like this. We went on to lose President Chilumba while SPF was in power, and there was nothing like this because at that time President Chilumba was not back into politics. We lost President Kaunda, who was not into politics. Before President Kaunda, we lost President Michael. There was nothing like this because PS was in power. Then we went on to lose our first Republican president, Dr. KK. Was a problem here and there, but it was resolved. We lost President Michael Sat, President Rukia Banda, when he was not in active politics. It was nothing like this. We are finding problems now because this beautiful party has always been the problem. Now that we lose the president, when they are not in power and they are still for them to come back into power, that's why they are doing what they are doing. It's not political. That's very political violence. That's why it's always been a troublesome party. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's all about politics. It's all about politics. Hello?
What Mishan?
Bueno.
Inquiry. So much push as in justification of wanting to bury in South Africa. Inquiry. I feel that question hasn't been answered, or if it has been answered, we sure was answered adequately. So what we are getting is the ECL, everybody about me, this is, you went through this and this, all those things, people trying to lament. What we think is that we want to politics.
You know?
Once abafaayo okutunga engi balapita mu shingi leero teeti twamba okutirayo napita omuno nkakiteesha. Look at where you are there, my brother. It's because of politics.
Absolutely.
Politics. So kutichawamana imwe batayari maironga mwasa mwateka atiyo kwantu nali kwekza ona nchitesha
na iwe akaenda kabia mwekza
yaba politics the HH is not as if probably he wants to attend that ceremony, maybe in his personal capacity. No. If at all, I don't think maybe he even wants to attend, but then he's forced.
He's a president.
By his position.
Yes.
To represent the Zambians.
Yes.
No? Yes. He will represent the Zambians.
Yes.
Maybe to settle all this dust, we should have 2 funerals in one. The family bury, they should have a private ceremony in Rashika. After we should commemorate, maybe as a country, we invite others, maybe a chingatwa.
Thank you. And you know, that's the point. That's the point. I mean, politics, like me, I tell you, I'm not bitter. And I know that Hakainde Hichilema doesn't hate me personally. I know. It is because I pose a threat politically. Whether you people what I pose a threat politically. How many people talk in Zambia and they are not arrested? They are just left. Some people, they talk carelessly. They talk carelessly, but nobody bothers them. Because, I mean, they are not a threat. But for me, they have realized that this guy commands a following. This guy influence. And that is why, I mean, they can't let me live in peace. Hello?
Mr. Dad.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Yes.
Okay, nachafa okushako abantu bali bashita strip ma benefits yabo. Ushenga wabashita strip ma benefits yabo ni record babafumye mwachi bali ni ba president beso. Because if you therefore got on as our former head of state, wena na wakwataka part valima vaya ku South Africa mkukwata masi ya Zambia kuno ati no bashika balungu isene no matuvotire ntukaye bashikura tukababweshe manje tukeke bashika kuno kushe wena nga wa government state machinery bakora abo mtoke ya basta kubatiye balungu mwofe abena bayu PNG bari abo mfyake ama like equality of them to do what is needed.
Yeah.
So it's just like them na wachi ba wera mpa. Abena wakana wujama kaya ku government to kuyase in the same capacity as government. So why is it not just let it be possible okay in that and we do it once and for all. Ukitira inoma mushika hapa mara moya mwenye mata mushika hapa kuta no because president. That's not fair to the person that has passed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Tad.
Thank you. Anyway, I think I'll leave it here. But basically, from my point of view, is that, you know, the justification that are being advanced by the family, including those that are, including Vachea. Vachea lady has also echoed the same, you know, bitterness. No, from my point of view, that is not right. And it's not a justification, not even me who is in exile. If I were to die today, I don't think my children be justified to come and say, no, we don't want Hakainde Hichilema anywhere but. If Hakainde Hichilema has to attend the funeral. No. And the family needs, because some of you were even giving examples about me. But I can tell you that you you can be rest assured that you would never have such a situation with my family. Never. Because I don't teach my children bitterness. I don't teach my children bitterness. For me, this is bitterness. To dwell on, no, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is bitterness. And then to even shout on an individual, haka in the hichilema, that is hatred for a person. That is hatred for a person. So, from my point, they don't have a good reason to bury Edgar Chagwa in South Africa. And yes, at the end of the day, it is likely that Edgar Chagwa will be buried in South Africa. It is likely. And why do I say this? Because even if the court rules to say, no, let him go and be buried in Zambia, the South African government will not bulldoze the family. Hey, go. No, they can never do that. They won't do that. So they will still allow them according to the will. And this is why even the judgment, you expect a judgment, a balanced judgment. A judgment that the government is right, the buried in, but at the same time, we reach family. I'm sure this is how the judgment will be. So it will not be to say, no. Because so far, the government of South Africa, even the court, agree with the Zambian government. But at the same time, they cannot force a bereaving family. They can't. So at the end of the day, we are likely to see Edgar Lungu buried in South Africa. But at the end of but the real issue is not about this bitterness. The real issue is, Mamaeva Esther is scared to come to Zambia. She's scared. If she goes to Zambia, she's scared, she'll not be able to go out, including some of the children. But mostly, it is about Mamaeva Esther. And her fear is justified because she was once incarcerated. She was put in cells, and it had to take the perseverance and the of Edgar Lungu that she came out. Now that she's gone, I'm sure she's thinking twice to say, who is going to protect me? But like one of the callers said that UPND would have been campaigning against itself if they went for Balungu. Even me, I would not agree that Esther Lungu be going Kuma courts after this. I think we would have all rallied behind Esther and, spoke for her. Unfortunately, with what they are doing, we are now talking here. Like some of you are noting to say, no, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. Unfortunately, when politics comes in, things become nasty. When politics comes in, things become nasty. It becomes nasty. Unfortunately. This is why now we are even having the death certificate being published. And people are saying, no, they have given Tayari a death certificate. Well, that death certificate, you must know that one of the evidence that was filed in court, Makebi Zulu filed his arguments on the 4th, the other day. Makebi Zulu filed his on the 4th. And part of the evidence is the death certificate. That is why you are seeing the death certificate circulating. It has not come from the hospital, like we went to the hospital, government went to the it was filed in court. It was filed in court, and my connections in South Africa sent it to me. So that is the situation. But all this is coming because of the family. We are in court because of the family. If the family were compromising, we wouldn't be in court. Government is doing all this so that indeed tomorrow no one will say you should have done this, you should have done this. They are exhausting every possible mean or every possible channel that can facilitate negotiations. Because it is in court, we are now talking. and government is writing to them to say, can we please discuss? But they are refusing. Pretty much that. Let me take the last caller. Hello? Yes, please.
Hello. Yes, yeah, just one thing. Me, I was wondering because that Edgar Lungu was South Africa. But then the thing is, the first initial wish, now we are you'll be buried kumia mkunganda. But he has to be buried in South Africa.
Well, that is part of the propaganda that is coming up, but anyway.
Yeah, that's what the problem is.
And this is why I said that, you know, people have been saying, no, it is changing, government is changing. From my point of view,
no,
the people that have been changing, it's the family. Government has been very consistent. All they want is to bury Lungu in Zambia after a befitting send-off. Government has not changed, but they are saying, no, government is changing. Government has not been changing. It is them that have been changing.
No. It is them who are changing, not them.
Yeah.
It's them who are changing. Yeah. It's not fair. It's not right. It's not good. Just follow. If you're we don't know. Because if you look at it, that Mr. Banda, Dr. Banda, there was nobody but they said, he was on his own. So, okay, probably he spoke to the wife before it. People talk, go along. And he knew, you know, or something. They start preparing them way back. But I think definitely the treatment. So people start making wishes. Start preparing for your future. Okay? So people start preparing from the way they go. So
Anyway, just to clarify also that I didn't get it that they wanted the body to be buried at the farm. No. What they said is that they wanted the body to be staying at the farm.
Oh yeah,
to be staying at the farm, not to be buried there.
But to buried wherever.
That's what
but they. Then he should be buried to South Africa when the ditches.
Anyway, thank you very much, my sister.
That's why they have to be very careful with what they say because we are listening to everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.
There's one gentleman that has been persistently calling. Maybe I can close on that one because he has been persistently calling. I just want to pick that guy. Not there's a number that I've been seeing. It has been coming. Okay, he's not calling. I think he has given up. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the program. I think it has been active. I've gotten something, and the issue, like I've said, the justification is not really adding up. It's based on bitterness. It is based on hatred to bury Edgar Chagwa in South Africa. I mean, there is no any other way. Whatever could have been there, now that Edgar Lungu is dead, I think we should put aside all these issues. Hakainde Hichilema has not done what he was, what was done to him when he was in State House. We insist. Why should we insist on Edgar Chagwa Lungu? I don't think it is a good reason. It is not uniting. It is not reconciliatory. On that note, I say thank you very much. Thank you, even to a special thanks to Chair. You see, this is how it is. It's politics. Chair don't usually agree. There is the man. Hello.
President, how are you?
I've seen that you are trying. So I said I need to give this. You are my last call. I'm not picking another call.
President.
Bueno, femkwa.
Mkwaye awe la vera ndafefile mfuika otherwise aba bantu ni bitterness fe bakweta abo bitterness fe bakweta ekani bachitofu bara chitabene.
Yeah. Okay. You have to phone. So yeah, thank you. And like I was saying about chair, I mean, this is what it is. I mean, we don't agree on a lot of issues, but we are not enemies. I cannot die. A chair comes to my funeral and my children, no, you shouldn't be there. You never used to agree with my, no. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. Even me, and I'm talking, I am in exile. The day that I would die, if I were to die here, if I were to die, I'm telling you, it would not be, you would not hear any of my family members saying, hey, are you PND? Hey, no. It shouldn't be like that. That is bitterness. I'm a politics here, recover. When politics, you need to realize that, I mean, you will go through difficulties, you will go through challenges, but you shouldn't be bitter. Me, I'm not bitter against